stars indicate that God sits in Isaiah above the circle of the earth, centered above the circle of the earth, beholding all the creatures in it. The Bible calls earth a circle. It says it takes shape like clay under a seal. It says it's fixed and immovable. It's not orbiting. It's not rotating. It's not flying through space. Tell me, how is a vacuum, which sucks atmosphere out, occurring with atmosphere and there's no barrier between the two? Tell me, how does water curve and hold to a ball? Well, you got to make up the imaginary gravity, all those things. The Bible never teaches that. The Bible says the earth is not moving. It says it's fixed and immovable. Satan comes up with, it's moving three different ways. It's spinning, and then it's orbiting, and then it's vortexing. Yet the star trails have remained the same for thousands of years. Do you understand? Fixed and immovable, that's the Bible. Earth takes shape like clay under a seal. You ever seen clay under a seal? That's in Job. Take some clay, push it under a seal. What do you get? Flat with ridges and mountains. Take shape like clay under a seal. What does Isaiah say? The book of Isaiah uses the word ball in Hebrew, not for the earth, and it uses the word circle, a completely different Hebrew word, for God sitting above, enthroned above the circle of the earth. Ezekiel says there is a dome over our heads, and then God is on his throne above that dome. Genesis 1 says, you look this up, the first word that would trigger us if we're going to believe the world's version of cosmology is rakia in Hebrew. It says that he created the rakia. Well, you've got to translate that properly. Sometimes the Bible will say vault or what have you. The King James comes closest and says firmament. Why? Because rakia, and any true Hebrew scholar will tell you this, rakia is a solid structure. In fact, Job says that God spread out the skies hard as molten glass. So NASA's been lying since the 50s. They've been lying. The biblical cosmology and the worldly cosmology are two completely different cosmologies. Shouldn't surprise you, there's two kingdoms here on earth. There's the kingdom of God, the kingdom of Satan, and that ball nonsense does not exist. Creation points us to God according to Romans. Did you know that? According to Paul's argument in Romans 1, creation will point you to God. So what does Satan do? He goes after creation, obscures creation, hides creation. Oh, there's no firmament. The earth is not fixed and immovable. It's moving a lot, right? It doesn't take shape like clay under a seal. It takes shape under gravity formed into a ball. We call it the horizon because it's horizontal, and then we try and say, it's curved. Now, I know you've seen all the footage, but you had to see it on screen. You've never seen it with your eyes, number one. Number two, it's always a fisheye lens. Always. GoPros, fisheye lenses. You're being deceived. If you hold to the Bible, you won't get deceived. You'll sound stupid to everybody else, just like I sound stupid right now. But if you notice, I could care less because I believe the Bible. I don't believe my eyes over the Bible. I believe the Bible. But I also believe my eyes, and my eyes have never seen curved water stick to a ball. They've never seen atmosphere and vacuum touch each other and the vacuum not suck the atmosphere out. It doesn't occur. You have to have a hard surface between a vacuum and atmosphere. And if you start looking into NASA, you start seeing the space bubbles, which is because it's really just filmed underwater. Every time SpaceX sends up its beautiful rockets, that's a beautiful piece of machinery, but it's not going anywhere. If you notice the photography that trails it, it just makes a dome. And they go, well, that's because it's entering into the orbit, right? No, it's because there's a dome. And if you send it straight up, it'll just hit that dome and blow up. So you got to curve it. And that's why. And it comes back down. They go, no, it entered. No, it didn't. So you're being deceived.
This is where I'm at so far. 1, 2, 3. So far. Yeah. Good job there, mama girl. Good morning to all you beautiful people. So, yeah, I had a very long night last night. She was in labor since about 8 p.m. last night. Finally delivered the first pup at 5:30 this morning. Second pup came about 2 hours ago, about 9:05, and she just had the third a couple of minutes before we started the podcast, and that's why I shot the video now. I will. We'll see how long I go. I'm a little tired. If you guys notice that we're on 24 today because 25 got a strike yesterday in regards to one of the videos that I played in regards to the government medical scandal. You know, I really hope that YouTube is ready for the lawsuits that are going to come at them for their blatant disregard for factual evidence in regards to what they did to us in 2020. I don't think that they care, but I think in the long run, they're all going to regret their decisions, and my give a fuck is busted. So, what happens to you, YouTube, is your own fucking fault, your own fucking problem. You helped to contrive and deceive the American people long enough. And we're done with your bullshit. So 25's on strike for 2 weeks. It's okay though. It's okay though. We got 24. And if I can find the information in regards to 13 and figure out how to get freaking logged in there, we will go to 13. Yeah, and we'll see what happens there. We'll see if we can find that information. I have no idea where in the hell I got that written down at. I got it somewhere. I just haven't had time to look for it. Yeah, so that's how my day is going. How's your day going? I hope it's going good. Probably going better than mine. You know, let's see. All right. Let's see. Okay. All right. Let's get up here to the top and get into my feed. I'm probably just going to start at the top because it seems to be about the best way to get started, right? All right. Here we go. Child sex trafficking survivor blasts left-wing journalist for defending pedophiles after they attacked the Sound of Freedom.
This video is a public warning.
My name is Jen Spry. I'm a human trafficking survivor. This is uncomfortable for me, but I need to speak directly to you, Noah Berlatsky.
Meet Noah Berlatsky. He is a writer for major news outlets like Bloomberg, The Washington Post, NBC, and CNN. And according to the Daily Wire, a spokesman for the pedophile advocacy group.
Prostasia. It is a tax-exempted pedophile club.
Mr. Berlatsky has gone on record making outrageous claims. Like child sex workers' biggest threat are the police, pedophiles are essentially a stigmatized group. The issue is that pedophiles are loathed, and sex offender registries are racist.
Like, is the main goal to empathize with sexual harassers? I mean, like, maybe.
As we uncover the truth behind Noah Berlatsky's disturbing connections, it's clear that vigilance is key.
We are aware of your smear misinformation campaigns that you launched against the movie Sound of Freedom. And we're also aware that many of you are planning to possibly attack the movie City of Dreams.
Noah, we know who you are. We know what you stand for. And we know that you are fighting to make MAPS, minor attracted persons, to be normalized. Well, guess what? It's never going to happen. Not on our watch. So Noah, you want to protect the people who raped me as an 8-year-old child? You want to go out of your way to say that they were being stigmatized and that they have rights and that I didn't? Noah, here I am now, and I'm ready. I'm ready for this fight. I survived, and I will survive anything else that you can throw at me. Because the reality is, I am using my voice, and I'm being a voice for the children who cry in silence.
Yep. It's been going on way too long. And that's why I get pissed off about these guys who are claiming that that they're fighting child trafficking and everything else, because of the fact of the matter is no, you're not. No, you're not. And if you are now, that's great. But where in the fuck have you been? You know, where have you been for the last 7 years that we've been fighting this? Okay. That online, we've been fighting this. Okay. Where were you all the years beforehand? When, you know, so I got to give you guys an update, right? I got to give you guys an update. Is that what I'm required to do here? I think that's what my requirement is, right?
Biggest threats are the police.
Okay, here's an update. Let's get them moved over there, Mom. Yep, let's get them moved over there. We know who that one belongs to, right? Mm-hmm. Good girl. Good girl. Okay, so, all right, there's your update. All right, seriously, is this a joke?
Solicited Threats Task Force to respond to a dangerous increase in violent threats against the public servants who administer our elections. We did so because countless Americans were enduring terrible threats simply for doing their civic duty. And we did so because threats to election workers constitute threats to our democracy itself. In just a few minutes, the task force here will meet to discuss its continuing work in advance of the upcoming election. But before we begin, I want to address the tragic shooting that occurred this morning at a high school in Winder, Georgia. We are still gathering information, but the FBI and ATF are on the scene, working with state, local, and federal partners. I'm devastated for the families who have been affected by this terrible tragedy. The Justice Department stands ready to provide any resources or support that the Winder community needs in the days ahead. Before I get to the work of the task force, I also want to announce two major law enforcement actions that the Justice Department is taking that are separate from the important work of this task force, but are part of our broader effort to protect our elections from unlawful interference of any kind. First, this morning we unsealed an indictment in the Southern District of New York of Konstantin Kalashnikov and Elena Afanasieva, two Russian-based employees of RT, a Russian state-controlled media outlet. They are charged with conspiring to commit money laundering and to violate the Foreign Agents Registration Act. That law, enacted nearly a century ago, was enacted to ensure that the American people were informed when a foreign power engages in political activities or seeks to influence public discourse. The American people are entitled to know when a foreign power is attempting to exploit our country's free exchange of ideas in order to send around its own propaganda. The company never disclosed to the, and that is what we alleged happened in this case. In the wake of Russia's brutal invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, RT, which was then known as Russia Today, was dropped by its American distributors. The company ceased its formal operations in the United States, and the European Union, the UK, and Canada banned RT's broadcasting. But as RT itself has boasted, the government of Russia continued to use RT to direct disinformation and propaganda. In the wake of Russia's brutal invasion of Ukraine, RT's editor-in-chief said the company had built, quote, an entire empire of covert projects designed to shape public opinion in Western audiences. We allege that as part of that effort, RT and its employees, including the defendants, implemented a nearly $10 million scheme to fund and direct a Tennessee-based company to publish and disseminate content deemed favorable to the Russian government. To implement this scheme, the defendants directed the company to contract with US-based social media influencers to share this content on their platforms. The subject matter and content of many of the videos published by the company were often consistent with Russia's interest in amplifying U.S. domestic divisions in order to weaken U.S. opposition to core Russian interests, particularly its ongoing war in Ukraine. The company never disclosed to the influencers or to their millions of followers its ties to RT and the Russian government. Instead, the defendants and the company claimed that the company was sponsored by a private investor. But that private investor was a fictitious persona. The charges unsealed this morning do not represent the end of the investigation. It remains active and ongoing. In a separate enforcement action, the Justice Department is seizing 32 internet domains that the Russian government and the Russian-sponsored actors have used to engage in a covert campaign to interfere and influence the outcome of our country's elections. As alleged in our court
like you're doing right
President
now.
Vladimir Putin's inner circle, including
You're a traitor,
Sergei
Merrick Garland. You're a fucking traitor.
Kirilnikov, directed Russian public relations companies to promote disinformation and state-sponsored narratives as part of a program to influence the 2024 U.S. presidential election. An internal planning document created by the Kremlin states that as a goal of the campaign is securing Russia's preferred outcome in the election. The online infrastructure used by the Russian public relations company, known as the Social Design Agency, or SDA, and related actors, included what are sometimes referred to as cyber-squatted domains. These websites were designed to appear to American readers as if they were major U.S. news sites like the Washington Post or Fox News. But in fact, they were fake sites. They were filled with Russian government propaganda that had been created by the Kremlin to reduce international support for Ukraine, bolster pro-Russian policies and interests, and influence voters in the United States and in other countries. Internal documents of the Kremlin describe the content as, quote, bogus stories disguised as newsworthy events, close quote. This malign influence campaign has been referred to as doppelganger. The Russian public relations companies drove viewers to these websites by deploying influencers and paid social media advertisements. They also created fake social media profiles, posing as U.S. citizens, post comments on social media platforms with links to the sites. According to SDA's records, it actively sought to, quote, eliminate the possibility of detection of the Russian footprint. Both of the schemes I've just discussed make clear the ends to which the Russian government, including at its highest levels, is willing to go to undermine our democratic process. But the enforcement actions I've discussed also make clear that the Justice Department will aggressively counter such efforts. And the same is true of the entire United States government. Today, our colleagues at the State and Treasury Departments are announcing parallel actions in both of these matters. Unfortunately, we know that Russia is not the only foreign power seeking to interfere in our elections. As the U.S. intelligence community noted 2 weeks ago, we have observed increasingly aggressive Iranian activity during this election cycle. That includes recently reported activities by Iran to compromise former President Trump's campaign and to avoid an election outcome that it regards as against its interests. Those recently reported Iranian activities also include efforts to obtain access to individuals who themselves have access to the presidential campaigns of both political parties. The Justice Department's message is clear. We have no tolerance for attempts by authoritarian regimes to exploit our democratic system of government. We will be relentlessly aggressive in countering and disrupting attempts by Russia and Iran, as well as China or any other foreign malign actor to interfere in our elections. And
yeah, Merrick Garland, maybe you should be arresting yourself, because you are creating the biggest election interference in the history of our country. You, sir, are a fucking traitor and a criminal. And I could come up with a whole bunch of other words. However, my viewers don't like it when I talk like that. So, all right. Soprano star Dre DiMatteo just endorsed Red Bull Donald Trump due to RFK Jr. Here we go.
Were you supporting RFK and now you are supporting Donald Trump? Where does that put you on this election?
I support Kennedy all the way, and if that means, I'm happy that there's unity right now. I think that, you know, what's happening on the left, if anybody can really examine that, unity is a four-letter word right now, and so is freedom. And it's not on the right side of things right now. I don't think Trump is a lifelong politician, and neither was Kennedy. And I think that's the change we need. You have Ben Stiller talking about change. The change has been happening for 4 years. What is he going to change? I mean, we're here. We do need a change. And these two men are older men who really don't feel like doing this, I don't believe. And they, you know, they're not playing politics here, which is why so many people are angry. You know, they camouflage everything on the left.
Were you supporting RFK and now you are supporting Donald Trump? Where does that put you on this election?
I support Kennedy.
I support Kennedy all the way. And if Donald Trump's going to utilize him, then we're going to let him. All right. Here's Fannie Willis testifying under oath that her relationship with Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade ended months ago. Here she is yesterday showing up with Nathan when her daughter got arrested. Did Fannie lie under oath? Ooh.
Ended, you left it in August of 2023. That sound right?
That's the hard conversation. That's not the...
We've covered this. Next question.
And you characterize it as a tough conversation, correct?
Yes.
I'm not going to get into the conversation per se.
Should.
Well, if he doesn't want to, we won't go there. So, Mr. Sadar, next question.
You know, it's kind of hard to say no when you've got that opportunity. But all I'm going to say is, was it pre-indictment in this case?
So
we know the timeline that the indictment was delivered.
Well, but actually, and so that we're clear, the physical relationship ended pre-indictment.
And is that when you were talking about the tough conversation?
But I'm not sure that the tough conversation didn't happen until after, but the physical relationship. So I'm sure if you ask Mr. Wade, because he's a male, he would say we ended June or July because physical contact ended then. Just in my mind, being a woman, it's over when you have that like hard conversation. I just think women and men think differently.
And I think the answer, Mr. Sadar, to your question was she's not sure whether it was before or after the indictment.
Well, I'm not sure that was her answer, but let's see if I can get specific.
That is what I said. That's what I said.
I'll let you. Next question, Mr. Sadar. If you need to clarify.
Want to say one more? The romantic relationship ended before the indictment was returned. Yes or no?
To a man, yes.
Well, to a man, yes. To you, no?
She's explained this, Mr. Sadar. She's explained this.
And did the forthcoming indictment have anything to do with that?
Ooh.
Or was it just a coincidence?
Mister, let's go on and have the conversation.
I've just asked you whether or not it was a coincidence.
Had absolutely nothing to do with this. It's interesting that we're here about this money. Mr. Wade is used to women that, as he told me one time, the only thing a woman can do for him is make him a sandwich. We would have brutal arguments about the fact that I am your equal. I don't need anything from a man. A man is not a plan. A man is a companion. And so there was tension always in our relationship, which is why I would give him his money back. I don't need anybody to foot my bills. The only man who's ever foot my bills completely is my daddy.
Is there anything else you would like to add to that?
No.
Sure.
But I'm sure we'll talk about it further.
No, we're not going to talk about it further.
All right, no back and forth, Mr. Sadar. Next question.
mom, dad, what's it? Okay.
Hi, nice to meet you.
So, Corporal Clark.
Nice to meet you. What?
So, apparently,
Nice to meet you.
apparently her license is suspended.
Nice to meet you. Okay.
For something. Doesn't tell us what for or why or where. Or that's something she's going to have to call DMV. Okay. Probably what happened, she had a speeding ticket, some kind of traffic infraction, never went to court, didn't take care of it. Okay. That's the best guess. So she's gone over to Fayette County Jail, which is right into Fayetteville Square. It's 145 Johnson Avenue. Normally, I would say a couple hours is the process. It just depends on how busy they are and like that, okay? The driving on the suspended is basically a traffic citation. She's got to have her fingerprints done, picture taken, then she can make her bonds. You can pay it cash, use the bondsman, be 10%, whatever. They've got a list of people over there, too, that you can choose from and use whatever. So the vehicle's registered to her. I don't know if it was on a flock hit or if the officer observed some kind of traffic infraction. It wasn't me. I didn't make traffic stop. He's already gone and got her going. Okay. So whatever the case may be, when you run the tag, it obviously gives us the vehicle information and the registered owner, and it's already in the system that she has the invalid license yet. So upon that, we just verify that it is that person driving. Or stop the car first at that point. We don't have to know it's them. It's general assumption that the registered owner is the driver of the vehicle. Yeah. You know, if you stop it and it's not, okay, have a nice day. But in this case, she was. So.
So this are the keys to the car here?
Yes. Yeah, everything's here. Yeah, everything's in there.
She has 3 numbers, I believe she gave. Was it your number, a JC, a third name I didn't hear. She'll allow she'll allowed to get 3 phone calls when she gets up there.
Yeah, once they get the process done, she can make a couple phone calls and call you guys and say, okay, I'm ready. This is how much it is, whatever. I want to say off the top of my head, I think driving on suspended license is about $1,200. Yeah. Somewhere right in that area. Every municipality's different, you know, give or take a little bit, but somewhere around there. So,
thank you so much.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Yeah. So what are you doing with Mr. Wade there, Miss Willis? Are you going against what you told court? Your relationship and friendship ended when he was removed, and now you shacked up with him. Seems kind of conspicuous to me that that you back with him now. Breaking: Wisconsin election legislative committees gives DOT ultimatum on non-U.S. citizens' driver's license data in time for November presidential election. Well, let's go ahead and click this and see what pops up here. Here we go. Let's see. In a rather tersely worded directive, the chairman of the Assembly Committee on Campaigns and Elections and State Committee on Shared Revenue, Elections and Consumer Protection sent the Wisconsin Department of Transportation Agency Director an immediate request for data information that documents how many non-U.S. citizens in Wisconsin have a driver's license or a photo ID. These committees held a joint public hearing with the DOT regarding this matter in May of 2024. And the DOT did not comply with the request of the committees in time for the November 2024 presidential election. Give me 1 second. I got a fly trying to get into my coffee. And I'm after the last 12 hours, believe me, I need the coffee. Okay, I need the coffee a hell of a lot more than you little 2-winged bastards. Now, go away. Okay, where was I? Oh yeah, all right. Did not comply with the request of the committees in time for the November 2024 presidential election. WEC Administrator Wolf was invited to attend this meeting, but was a no-show again. The DOT has since that meeting has refused to release any information due to privacy concerns for non-U.S. citizens with a Wisconsin driver's license. The DOT request from these legislative committees dated September 3rd of 2024. See attached DOT letter, non-U.S. so on and so forth. Asked for an immediate release of the non-U.S. citizens data from the DOT that have a Wisconsin driver's license or a photo ID to assist all Wisconsin clerks, 1,852 of them in the administration of elections, with integrity to make sure that only U.S. citizens receive a ballot for the Wisconsin presidential election in November. The DOT was reminded in the legislative letter that as a state agency, they are absolutely required to release this information upon request to the proper authorities per Wisconsin State Statute 13.45-7. Let's see. The DOT has was further reminded that this request was in compliance with the Driver Privacy and Protections Act with respect to the legislative committees are not a person, but rather a state or agency thereof, per various portions of 18 USC 2725-2. And that disclosure of this information is allowed per 18 USC 2721A and B 1 and 4. Prohibition on release and use of certain personal information from state motor vehicle records. Finally, the DOT was reminded that the governor's office wants this information shared between the DOT and the Wisconsin Election Commission to assist all clerks in the administration of the elections with integrity to make sure only U.S. citizens are participating in Wisconsin elections. So it's going to be interesting to see the total outcome of all of this. All right. New York Governor Hochul's deputy Linda Sun demanding equity in the U.S. Turns out she was a Chinese spy. Here we go.
I think, when people say diversity and inclusion, I think everybody agrees, or most people generally agree that it's a good thing, right? But I think right now we also need to bring in the word equity, right? Diversity is when you say that there's, many different types of people with different backgrounds and they're all, invited to the table. Inclusion is when, we include all of their ideas. But equity is when we make sure that all of the people who are at the table have equal access to making sure that their ideas and their thoughts are heard. And unfortunately, I think some of the statistics that you quoted is that we don't have that much leadership or representation. I think, when people say...
Yeah, fuck your DEI completely. And I hope you spend the rest of your life in prison, you fucking spy. All right, Laura Loomer noticed the Phoenix police won't release the name of the person they say they have located who was involved in shooting 2 Phoenix police officers last night. Why won't they release the shooter's name? Is the shooter an illegal alien? They have had the suspect in custody since 9 p.m. How much do you want to bet the shooter was an illegal alien? Release the name.
Only on scene near where an officer-involved shooting occurred earlier today. 2 of our officers responded to a theft from a vehicle call. They located a man matching the description. After a brief foot pursuit, they were fired upon by the man. Both officers were struck, one with critical injuries, the other one with serious injuries. They are currently both in the hospital. One still remains in critical condition. One man was located and detained. Currently, we are asking for the community's patience while we conduct a thorough investigation, but we do thank you for your thoughts and prayers for Officer that's still fighting for his life.
Yeah, but you're not going to release the name of the person who shot him. Yeah, that's really smart. Hello, Joan. Nora from Bristol, Connecticut. I am also originally from Connecticut, the Norwich area, Norwich, New London, Groton area. So welcome. Yeah, hi. All right, Haitian migrant Akim Mark Desire, or Desiree, well, I have no idea how in the hell you say that one, was flown into the U.S. under the Biden-Harris admin's CHNB parole program. He was just arrested in Massachusetts for molesting a 10-year-old boy. Yeah, let's make this guy famous. Yeah, this guy right here. This guy right here. This guy. Yeah. It's kind of strange how these guys get away with things and how our government is. We need to get rid of the government. All of them. All of them. They all need to go. Every single one of them. Yep. They all need to go. Sorry, I'm a little giddy today.
Good morning. There's my pup. Hey, it's my birthday.
Happy birthday.
And my birthday message for today is I'd love to remind everybody that the 2020 election is not over yet. And you will keep seeing more and more evidence drip out about how this enemy overthrew the United States government with these installed traitors and at least 6 other countries. And I'd also like to remind people that no matter how much time has gone by, they overthrew the United States government, and that is treason. And anybody complicit in the cheat and steal of that election will be held accountable for treason. They do not get away with it, guys. They don't get away with it. Happy birthday to me. Have a good day.
Happy birthday, young lady, and I hope you have a great day, Julie Donuts. All right. 4 migrants with alleged ties to Venezuelan gang trade Agua were arrested in Aurora, Colorado in connection with the takeover of an apartment building. Wait a minute. I thought that they said that that wasn't happening. I thought that they said that there was no, this can't be. I mean, how, what, yeah, they need to get their fucking story straight. They do. Here we go. Ivy Crossings Apartments is the place.
Venezuelan gang members have been arrested in Arapahoe County.
Fox 31's Vicente Arena speaking to the Arapahoe County Sheriff about how that unfolded. He joins us live from the Sheriff's Office with new information here at 5. Vicente.
Jeremy, we have been talking to the sheriff today, asking a lot of questions about how this all came to be. And one of the main things that they shared with us today is that they focused on an area where there had been problems with crime. In other words, trouble had been brewing there. The Arapahoe County Sheriff's deputies focused its community policing efforts on this swath of apartment complexes. They're located near South Quebec Street and East Harvard Avenue in unincorporated Arapahoe County. Officers from the Sheriff's Department, ICE, and the Department of Homeland Security blanketed the area on August 21st.
We're looking for any violation that we can stop and make contact with somebody and address any issues that they might have.
The teams were looking for, among other things, stolen vehicles and persons wanted by other jurisdictions. This proactive operation took place where there had been 2 officer-involved shootings and a SWAT situation over the last 5 years.
There had been some conversation that there were some things going on in our jurisdiction, and we developed a plan.
6 people were arrested. 4 of them, the sheriff said, were confirmed members of the Tren de Aragua gang out of Venezuela. 750 counterfeit pills, some ketamine, and a stolen car were confiscated. The arrests come at a time when news of alleged crimes gang members have been committing in Aurora has been making headlines. The Arapahoe sheriff says he's hoping the arrests here keep problems with gangs from getting any worse. And that's the whole idea. Stop the problem before it gets out of control. Another question I asked the sheriff today, could we see other community proactive police operations like this in the future? He said, you bet.
Venezuelan gang members.
Yep. Yeah. I think it might be have something to do with a little bit of influence of my brain just went into brain fart mode. I've been up all night. I've had no sleep. Okay. So yeah, yeah, oh boy. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm probably going to say things that normally I wouldn't say, and do things that normally I wouldn't do because yeah, um, yeah, uh, I'm 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 very tired, guys. I can't go to sleep because if I go to sleep now, then it wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be good at all. Give me a second here to do this. And so, as I stated earlier in text, and I put it up on the screen, all donations today are going to go to the puppies. I need blankets for the puppies. I need pee pads for the puppies. I need a bunch of things for the puppies. Those of you that normally do donate, if you do today, I appreciate it because I can definitely use it right now in preparing for these guys. And let's see. Let me see if I can get this to work. And now I'm going to have to turn down my speakers so that I don't get a feedback on you guys. Give me a second. I think I'm there. Okay. Okay. So I think I did this right. I need to oh, here we go. That's where I click. Solo layout. There we go. Yeah, you guys here. Yeah, isn't it great? You guys are getting some freaking sleep. Yep. So here's the girl. That's where we're at so far. We're at 5. There you go. Yep. Okay. Good girl. You're doing awesome. Doing a great job. First litter. Great job. Great job. Yeah. And they having no problems getting to the teats. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I know, baby. Okay. All right. Hopefully that worked. I hope you guys got to see him. I might do another update as we go along here. And let's see. There we go. And get back to that. So we're at 5 now. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, she did really, really good. I pulled out my bed at 9 o'clock last night. I figured, all right, I'm going to go to bed early. I thought I had a couple of days left for her. I didn't think that she was going to have them until closer to the weekend, and I figured I'd have time to get blankets for her and everything else. And unfortunately, that was not the case at all. Walmart does deliver here. It's a $4.99 delivery charge for delivery. So that's Guinevere, first litter. And she's doing really, really, really good. Yeah, I'm very, very pleased. But like I said, I thought I had until the weekend to get everything ready. And unfortunately, that was not the case. Yeah. Yeah. All right, back to it. Here we go. So this is a known Antifa member who was paid $70,000 for his Capitol riot video on January 6th. And the FBI says they have no proof Antifa members dressed as Trump supporters and caused the Capitol riot in January 6th, 2021. Yeah, the same guy. This guy right here. Yeah. They say they have no proof. Yeah. Okay. All right. Goosebumps are for a reason. If you get them, listen.
Quantum physics. What do they have in common? Well, for one, goosebumps is scientifically called piloerection. And when we get this piloerection or goosebumps, it's usually when we're in a state of awe or wonder. But did you know that when you get goosebumps, your brain's hemispheres are syncing? Creating gray matter, the holy aura, the kundalini, or crystal aura. When you're in sync, you become like an antenna, the perfect receiver for God's biofeedback. This biofeedback comes in the form of light, and this light only comes when you're in sync. This light can penetrate anything, concrete, steel, anything. And so when you have goosebumps, you'll receive downloads from time to time. So why am I saying this? Because I'm here to tell you it's time to practice your goosebumps. Call on them voluntarily. See if you can trigger them. If you can trigger them without music, sound, or imagery, then you're on the right path. This is called voluntarily generated piloerection. Some people call it frisson. Only a few people can do this. It's said 1 in 1,500 people can call under piloerection. So that would mean that only that many amount of people would be able to call under kundalini. I don't mean to be the breaker of bad news, but if you can't get your hairs to stand at will, then I don't think you can control your kundalini. This is the biggest misconception of this new age, but there's nothing to fret, because now you can practice. Now you know what you're looking for. The more this knowledge goes out, the more people will be able to tap in. So I'm depending on you guys to like and share this video, so we can find the others that have perfected it, and so that we can find others that want to perfect it. But for now on, my assignment for you is to go watch some videos about love, videos that specifically only give you goosebumps. It could be in a form of music as well. So as soon as you start feeling the goosebumps approaching, take a moment and learn that feeling. The goosebumps won't last forever, so be quick, be aware, so that once you learn the feeling, you can hold the feeling. It's almost like muscle memory.
Yeah, how about that? Learn something new every day, right? Isn't that what our objective is? To learn something new every single day? Yep. I learned how to be patient killing flies. I did. I learned that you can't just automatically swing at them. You just gotta wait until they look like they're doing something and then get them. And let me. I think somebody in chat has my address that they can drop. I hope they do. Yeah. God bumps. Exactly. God bumps. How about that? Yeah. How about that? Yeah. All right. Congratulations to my boy Barron on helping rightful President Trump win big with influencers. Here we go.
In this campaign, I mean, we've been struck by the way Barron has emerged as a secret weapon with influencers. I mean, how important has his input?
He's such a good young guy. He's always a boy to me, right? All my kids, that's my boy and that's my girl, and I don't care if it's politically correct, but they're great people. They're great kids. Barron is a young guy who's a very good athlete, and he's a very smart person. And he's very much captivated the attention of the public. I've seen that. He's gone to some rallies. And when he stands up, he's on the tall side. And he's a good boy.
Is he helping you win over the Gen Z, the younger vote?
He is. He knows so much about it. Aiden Ross, I do some people that I wasn't so familiar with, different generation. He knows every one of them. And we've had tremendous success, as you know. Maybe you're going to take this and you're going to put it out because you'll have success. We had hundreds of millions of people with Elon. We did the phone conversation and it was a great success. But we did 3 unusual, and I don't know what you'd call them, but it's a platform with three people that I don't know, but three people that Barron knows very well. He actually calls all of them like friends of his because it's a different generation. They don't grow up watching television the same way as we did. They grow up looking at the internet or watching a computer, right? But Barron knew him. And we've had tremendous success with all of that. And TikTok, we've dominated the other campaign. You know, I'm dominating on TikTok. We have TikTok Jack working for us, right? Just started a while ago. And we have the biggest numbers, I think they said, in the history of TikTok. But just to show you how dishonest the other side is, they came out with phony numbers on jobs. 818,000 people, they said, had jobs, and it turned out to be a false number, fake. So they had to take it out. They wanted to take it out after the election. They didn't want anyone to find out about it. But somebody, a whistleblower or a leaker, leaked it, and 2 days ago, they had to take back 818. That's a lot. The job numbers are not good, especially when you call, if you take a look at the jobs that we created all these jobs. They took a hiatus for the COVID, which is standard for a pandemic. And then they're called bounce back jobs. They bounce right back. We created so many jobs, but they lied to the American public about jobs. And just today, they were saying how well they were doing with social media. They're a tiny fraction of what I did. And what they said is Trump is being beaten in social media. Well, it's just the opposite. We have numbers I think you will acknowledge. Has anyone ever done numbers like this on TikTok? Has anyone ever done numbers? You look at Instagram, you look at Truth, you look at X, you look at any one of these things, we're doing great. But, you know, the Democrats are really a party of misinformation and disinformation.
He's not lying. He's telling the truth. And people need to wake up and realize that this has been big for quite a while. He was telling the truth back when he was running 2015, 2016. He was telling the truth back in the 80s and the 90s when he was testifying in front of Congress and senatorial committees in regards to finances and things like that. And let me tell you, if you guys were to really dig into what his activism, you know, in regards to landowner rights, landlord rights, tenant rights, and then whole bunches of things in regards to the financial sectors and things like that, you would find that that it's so much, the scope is so much bigger than what people can realize. You know, he was the most loved TV personality that you know, that was accepted widely by many people. You know, especially in the Hollywood scene, in the music scene, you know, in the Black community, things like that, you know. And you know, the Democrats have been nothing but a campaign of lies. But you know, but understand this as well. You know, it's not just the Democrats. The Republicans, I did Kathleen and Jody. Thank you both very much. Also, Cindy Bolin, thank you as well. Thank you. That's going to go towards getting them blankets and pee pads, so we can keep this mess down to a minimum. And I'm going to be placing an order here with Walmart pretty quick. And they like I said, they deliver $4.99 for them to deliver here. You know, they're like 8.5 miles away. And it's pretty cool that they actually have delivery now. Now, I hate having to use Walmart, but the fact of the matter is they're are just, sometimes, immediate needs that have to be gotten, All right. Getting back into this, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce allegedly had a contract of when to break up. Reminder, the Pentagon Psychological Operations Unit floated turning Taylor Swift into an asset during the NATO meeting to be used as a psyop to combat online misinformation. So this is their documentation. Let me see. I know I'm gonna have to open this in a bigger one. So, full scoop, comprehensive media plan for Travis Kelce's public relations following breakup with Taylor Swift. Confidentiality notes. This document is intended for internal use only and contains confidential information regarding the media strategy for Travis Kelce. It should not be shared with any external parties or unauthorized individuals. All details within this document are sensitive and designed to manage the public image of Travis Kelce effectively. Unauthorized distribution or disclosure of this information is strictly prohibited. Well, it's public right now, pal. All right, you put it up online, to effectively manage and mitigate the fallout from the breakup between Travis and Taylor, ensuring Travis Kelce retains a positive public images, minimizes negative media portrayal, and continues to build his personal and professional brand. And key messages. Respect and privacy. Emphasize that the breakup was a mutual decision made with respect for each other's personal lives. Stress the importance of privacy during this period to allow both individuals to focus on their respective personal growth and careers. Professional focus. Highlight Kelce's commitment to his career and his ongoing achievements in the sports industry. Showcase recent milestones, upcoming games, and his involvement in major sporting events. Personal growth. Frame the breakup as a natural part of life and an opportunity for personal evolution. Share how Kelce is focusing on personal development, self-improvement, and resilience. Media strategy. Official statement. Guys, I think you've been outed.
Taylor Swift's the biggest star in the world. Sorry, Gutfeld. She's been blanketed across the sports media entertainment atmosphere. The New York Times just speculated she's a lesbian. And last year's tour broke Ticketmaster. A tour that's revenue tops the GDP of 50 countries. I mean, I like her music. She's all right. But I mean, have you ever wondered why or how she blew up like this? Well, around 4 years ago, the Pentagon Psychological Operations Unit floated turning Taylor Swift into an asset during a NATO meeting. What kind of asset? A psyop for combating online misinformation. Listen.
You came in here wanting to understand how you just go out there and counter an information operation. Well, the idea is that social influence can help encourage or promote behavior change. So potentially as like a peaceful information operation. I include Taylor Swift in here because she's she's a fairly influential online person. I don't know if you've heard of her.
Yeah, that's real. The Pentagon PSYOP unit NATO on turning Taylor Swift into an asset for combating misinformation online. This is nothing new. In the 1950s, the government strong-armed Louis Armstrong into doing propaganda tours across Africa. The CIA did the same thing with jazz singer Nina Simone, except they did it without her really knowing. In the 70s, Nixon enlisted Elvis in his war on drugs. He gave the king a badge and named him a covert federal law enforcement agent. Michael Jackson was tapped by Reagan using his song Beat It in his public service campaigns against teen drinking and driving. Michael Jackson persuading minors not to drink. Anyway, so is Swift a front for a covert political agenda? Primetime obviously has no evidence. If we did, we'd share it. But we're curious because the pop star who endorsed Biden is urging millions of her followers to vote. She's sharing links. And her boyfriend, Travis Kelce, sponsored by Pfizer.
Okay, we're going to stop that right there because you know what they're going to get into next in regards to what he was pushing during the 2020, 2021 time period, and even afterwards. And we're not going to take a ding on this one. We need 24 in order to keep us going until 25 comes back up. All right. They have a suspect in custody, but they're not giving more details. Here we go.
I want to give our sympathies to our community, our school system, our kids, our parents that had to witness this today. Obviously, what you see behind us is an evil thing today. At about 9:30 this morning, we received the first call that there was an active shooter in on this campus. We're not releasing any information as far as injuries, but we have multiple injuries. This is a very, very fluid investigation. It's very early. And I have asked the assistance of the GBI and the agencies here behind me today, and there are multiple agencies that responded this morning to help us and help the sheriff's office. We do have a suspect in custody, and we are asking for your patience as the media to please let us get the facts that we need to make sure we get this right. Again, I've asked the GBI to help us, the sheriff's office, to help us along with this. I know this is not what you want to hear, but I'm not going to answer questions after this is over with. But I wanted to give you the respect and our community respect to let them know what was going on initially. We're in the process of reunifying our students with their parents. Obviously, that's chaotic, but we want to be respectful of them and their privacy as well. I want to thank the state, the federal agencies, the local agencies that showed up today. As you can see, the multiple EMS and fire from other agencies that responded today. Again, I ask that you lift up Barrow County Schools, lift up Appalachia, lift up our agencies. This is going to take multiple days for us to get answers as to what happened and why this happened.
Yeah. You basically have two options. You got to choose. I'm going to give you guys, we'll do a poll real quick here. Okay. If you think that the shooter was a trans, give me a 1. If you think that the shooter was an illegal, give me a 2. Let's do a poll here. Yeah. And if I can, yeah. Damn. Yeah. It's, I'll have to go through. This is, 1 and 2. An illegal trans. That was good. Let's see. I'm looking. Hang on. I got to go up. I got to scroll back up and count. I got to scroll back up and count. You guys are going pretty fast today. Actually, you guys are Johnny on the spot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 19. Okay, so we got 19 so far on the ones, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 12 on the other. So, yeah. Okay. Don't call me that, Mark. Only my grandmother calls me that. She didn't like the fact that I was named after a bird, so she always used my middle name. And most places don't believe that my name is my name because It's obscure. It's not a normal name. So that's why it goes on to all these accounts, banking and stuff like that, because they give me a hard time about it. All right. Okay. She had another one. So we're up to 6 now. So far, 3 boys, 3 girls. All right. Gen Z girl lists every Kamala accomplishment. Here we go.
Yeah, man, people are getting sick of being lied to. Watch.
I don't understand how people say that Biden and Harris have not accomplished anything within the past 4 years. Yes, they have. They've allowed 15 million illegals into this country. Like, that's a lot of work, guys.
We don't need to build a wall. This is a crisis of his own making.
There's been a historic inflation crisis. Record high gas prices in all 50 states. Like, that's huge. Record consumer debt.
All that, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, that is called Bidenomics.
They've released terrorists into this country. There's been the Ukraine-Russian war and Israel-Hamas war. And violent crime skyrocketing. Like, they've accomplished a lot. I literally don't understand.
Can I get a witness?
Yeah. Yeah, they're
yeah, man, people are getting sick of
Yep. It's just yep. So, all right. They are disgusting. Wake up. Israeli lawmakers consider passing a law making it legal to rape Palestinians. Here we go.
This is one of the most disturbing things I've read. The Israeli military has been sodomizing Palestinians, and they are trying to figure out if that's an okay thing to do. The Israeli military has used these sexual assault claims on October 7th to say that Palestinians are animals. The story became so big that Sheryl Sandberg, the chief executive officer at Google at the time, made a documentary about it. She spoke out saying that rape should never be used as an act of war. This news hit almost every single media outlet. Now Israel is literally using it as an act of war and trying to terrorize the Palestinians with it. With Israeli politicians asking if it's okay to stick a broom in someone's anus and responding with everything is legitimate to do to them if they are a Nakba, which is them saying if they are Hamas, then it's okay. But they consider everyone Hamas. They consider women, children, elderly people, all part of Hamas. They called college kids in the US part of Hamas. Sheryl Sandberg, the one who created the documentary, said silence is complicity. So I am looking forward to her being so vocal about what's happening in Israel.
Yeah. Isn't that something? Yep. All right. Become the ungovernable.
And the best part of this plan is no one can stop me. And the best part of this plan is no one can stop me.
I'll just take the cage with me. That's what I'll do. Oh, what a day. What a day. What a day. Hang on one second. I got to check on her. I think she's having another. Give me a minute. Bear with me, guys. Yeah. Yeah. Are you ready for it? Yeah. Oh, very good, Mama. Very, very good. Very good. Very good. Oh no, she just had to move one. Oh, trying to get him on the teat. You know, it's and this is something. Those of you, if you have a dog that are having puppies, okay. So, within 15 minutes from the birthing time, okay, that baby should be on a teat. Should be taking milk within 15 minutes. If the puppy is not on a teat, grab the puppy and put it next to the teat, and mom will encourage it to eat. And that's one of the big things that I watch very, very closely when we have litters, because a pup can, when they first come out, mom's of course got to get the sack off of them, And sometimes I'll help with that. But for the most part, they pay very, very close attention to it. And then they go for the umbilical cord. Okay. And they get that. And then once those two things are disconnected, generally mom will clean the pup, and then from about that period of time, it takes her about 5 minutes to do that. Okay. And then the next 10 minutes, you just keep it, you keep peeking over to make sure that the pup has been moved onto a teat. And it's very, very important that that within the first 15 minutes, and that's what ensures the health and growth of your pups. So, and yeah, so ugh, boy. Okay, let's see. Elon Musk is a modern day Bruce Wayne, fearless, innovative, and ready to shake up the status quo. His stance on free speech is bold, and he's not afraid to go head to head with any government, even if it means shutting down services in Brazil. Here we go. Let's take a listen. Kevin O'Leary. I probably just did everything he's going to say.
As far as I'm concerned, Elon Musk is a modern day Bruce Wayne. I mean, this guy has been so successful in so many sectors, so I'm a huge fan. And what I really love about him is his executional skills. But he's also got another trait which I find very endearing, and you may or may not like this. He's a real poo-poo disturber, if you know what I mean. He just doesn't give a poo-poo. And I love that about him. He doesn't care what country, what dictator, what leader, what judiciary. If they don't want his technology over the Amazon, where they need high-speed internet, he's happy to shut it off. He doesn't care. If he doesn't get free speech, which is why he paid $42 billion for Twitter in the beginning, he owns it. He controls it. It's private. He can do whatever he likes. As far as I'm concerned, Elon Musk is a modern day Bruce Wayne. I mean, this guy has been so successful in so many sectors. So I'm a huge fan. And what
Elon, I know you probably don't watch little minute podcasters like myself, but if you happen to be listening in, would you please buy YouTube and fire them all? Please. Thank you. We appreciate your input. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. Okay. Let's see. I think it's at Elon. Whoop, Elon. Is there a snowball's chance in hell that we could talk you into buying YouTube? Please. We'll see if we get a response from him. That'd be cool if we got a response from him, right? All right. Elon. Speaking of Elon Musk says extremely alarming. Stephen Miller posted, under our system, the Supreme Court is the final word on what is and what is not constitutional. If Harris wins, she will end the filibuster and pack the court, which will be the end of the First, Second, Fourth, Fifth, and Sixth Amendments as government is weaponized against political dissidents. Court packing is on the ballot. Here we go.
Are you open to expanding the size of the Supreme Court?
I am open to that discussion.
Are you open to expand?
Yeah. All right. Oh my. Kamala Harris's accent when she has to speak at the rally in Louisiana. You know what? I think she's already got that down. I know Joe's got it down. Joe's got it down really good. Yeah, really good. Yeah. All right. Wall Street Babe says Colorado residents drive through Aurora, Colorado to see for themselves if Venezuelan migrants are out there. The government, say not everything they're saying on social media is true. Well, while driving, there are Venezuelan standing there with a sign. Oh my God, it's true. Yeah.
Oh my God. This is the people filming the shit. Nigga, we need to come. Not everything at night. They say not everything they're saying is true. It's a Venezuelan standing there with the sign. I'm about to turn around and go Sanctuary back. With balloons.
Yep. It's really happening. Yep. All right. September 23rd. And I thought that this one was kind of a little bit spot on about predictive programming. And I thought you guys would appreciate this one. This is one, actually, let me, I'm going to go ahead and grab the link for this because, when you're trying to explain to people about predictive programming, sometimes the best element is dates that they talk about. Okay. And when these dates are thrown out there, generally there's a certain level of hysteria and mysticism cast around those particular dates. And I thought that this one was pretty interesting, and I thought you guys would appreciate this. I did drop the link into the chat. If I can get somebody to drop that over on the Facebook side, that would be awesome. And by the way, Jimmy, yesterday you were Johnny on the spot and getting all of those links and everything moved over to the Facebook side. And I appreciate you so much for doing so. Those of you that are on Facebook and on X that were looking for Hawks Mustard Seeds 25 today, it is currently under a 2-week suspension. We got a strike because we covered some medical stuff yesterday. I kind of knew it was coming. I was a little bit prepared for it. I made sure that 24 was still up and ready to go. So we are on Hawks Mustard Seeds number 24 today. Those are all separate words in this particular case. Hawks Mustard Seeds 24 is where we are. I'm also going to be working on getting number 13 back. I guess the strikes expired on that, and for some reason it popped back up. And I'm going to try and figure out what the heck the password and everything for that is. As soon as I have that, I will start posting that. So we have a backup channel. That's an important thing is, I'm trying to maintain a presence on the battlefield. YouTube is one of the biggest battlefields. No ands, ifs, or buts about it. We have so many people. Thank you so much, Jimmy. You are much appreciated. Very much appreciated, sir. It's Facebook and YouTube are a battlefield that we need to stay on. We have been doing everything that we can in order to do that. And the reason being is because, sure, we've got the TikTok side of things. We've got the Instagram side of things, for short videos and things like that. But the fact of the matter is a lot of people are just so accustomed to going to YouTube to search for this, search for that. So our presence there is important, so that people have a first place to go to. They start figuring out that the government is trying to screw them. They figuring out that their local governments are trying to screw them. That basically, they need to have a place to come to start getting more accurate information, and possibly be able to go through older videos to find even more information. And to me, YouTube is a battlefield. No ands, ifs, or buts about it. And Facebook as well. I was censored off. I was gone from Facebook for 2 years. It took them 2 years to finally restore my account. And let me tell you, we had lawyers. We had 2 lawyers that sent letters to YouTube, to Facebook and to YouTube, in regards to prior accounts. that basically as soon as Section 230 is gone, we're filing suit. You know, I don't care that I don't have the money to fight them. When you got a lawyer who says he'll do it pro bono and take it from the winnings, then you know, hey, I'm willing to put my name on the dotted line because everything that we've been presenting is truthful and 100% accurate, and YouTube is deceptive and is a puppet of particular organizations such as the W to the H to the O and the W to the E to the F and the Democrat Party. So we will continue to do everything that we can to maintain a presence there. All right, but here we go. Let's September 23rd, predictive programming.
The elites are planning some sort of catastrophic false flag event on September 23rd, I believe, of this year. And I'm going to show you all the predictive programming that said that this is going to happen. In the Big Bang Theory, an asteroid strikes on September 23rd. In the movie This Is the End, on September 23rd is the rapture. In the movie Pandemic, an outbreak happens on September 23rd. Ghostbusters, Evil is released on September 23rd. In the movie Tomorrowland, disaster strikes on September 23rd. In the movie Little Shop of Horrors, humans are threatened by some sort of event that happens on, again, September 23rd. In the movie Knowing, a solar flare strikes on September 22nd and lasts till the 23rd. In the movie Seeking a Friend for the End of the World, an asteroid strikes on September 23rd. Julie and Julia, meteor strikes September 23rd. In the movie Sleepy Hollow, dimensions open up on September 23rd. Now you get my point. Predictive programming is something that the psychopaths that rule this world utilize to show you what they're going to do previous to them doing it because it alleviates their karma. Essentially, they're telling you what they're going to do, and you guys are agreeing. Now, they are more than likely going to use Project Bluebeam, which is something that they've perfected, where they use holograms to bring in an antichrist or some sort of cataclysmic event, UFOs, meteor strikes, something. Now, all this predictive programming on September 23rd didn't specify the year, but with everything going on in the world, it could be the September 23rd coming up. And hopefully this reaches enough people where they got to call off their plans. Peace and love.
Yeah. So, you know, so when you're talking to people about predictive programming and stuff, share this video with them, you know, just to give them just a slight idea about how narratives are controlled and people are put into that fight or flight type of scenario in the mind. And that's basically what it boils down to. You know, it's a fight or flight. And it appears that, you know, that when we look at the movies have been telling us so many things about the future and about the past that we overlook, that we don't really catch until it's too late. And you know, when I think about the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, I understand that the Senate is no different, and the Congress are no different than the Senate of the old Roman Republic. Okay. And when I think of Donald Trump and what he's trying to do with cleaning it up, I have to think of the movie Gladiator. I have to think of the movie Gladiator. You know, Augustus Caesar had chosen not his son Commodus to succeed him in becoming the next emperor, but in fact he chose Marcus Aurelius Quintillus to succeed him and restore a republic. Part of that was to stop all the wars, the years and years and years of fighting, dominating other countries, everything else, you know. But then, so I think about the end of that movie when Commodus is killed. Okay, Marcus Aurelius also dies, but not before he states what Augustus wanted, that he wanted his country cleaned up and the republic restored, and that the Senate should, do things, yeah. Annette, I don't know where the link for that is. I'll have to look for it in regards to the med beds. I'll have to dig it up. Let me look here for a minute because I've really got to go. Really got to go, and I don't want to leave you guys sitting without something. So, okay, this is a short one here. Okay, let's go here and hit. Oh no, can't do that because look what they're talking about. Oh, I hate this. All right. Well, actually, let's go with mind control versus. Oh, hold on. I got to get the whole title. Oop. The whole title, not the video. And hopefully these guys won't say anything stupid while I'm in the bathroom. Let's see, SDT. Where is my SDT? There we go. Save. Bink. Okay. I'll be back with you guys in just a minute.
So when these frequencies are being sent through the airwaves and you let your guard down and you're more susceptible to subliminal energies and influences, then you can be more easily controlled.
Hey guys, Sean from SGT Report here. Thank you so very much for coming on back to the show. That was my new friends Thaddeus and Heidi of the Primal Hacker podcast. And before we start this one, I got another text from Deb Tavares who tells me she's posting this information over at her site, stopthecrime.net. United Nations Directive 001, the start of the New World Order in our calendar year of 4 July 2025. I'm going to have to dig into this with Todd Callender and others. Look, here's the thing. If they steal another election, then sure, they'll probably seize control of our military and our police forces on July 4th, 2025, as indicated by this Directive 001, but that ain't gonna happen if we, the people, elect Donald J. Trump. Guys, we talk about that and much more in this one. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Before we start, just a quick word about our sponsor. Guys, how do you feel after you eat a big meal? You know, digestive issues are caused by a potential toxin that's in all of the, quote, healthy foods that scientists have been telling us to eat with that fraudulent food pyramid. And this toxin causes digestive issues, according to Dr. Gundry, a world-renowned cardiologist. It's affecting millions of people nationwide. Warning signs include weight gain and fatigue, digestive discomfort, and stiff joints, even skin problems. Dr. Gundry explains these side effects are often mistaken for normal signs of aging because digestive issues develop usually over a matter of years. The damage is probably being caused by health foods, and it's far from normal. The good news is you can easily help fix the problem from your own home. It's simple. You just have to know which foods are actually healthy and which contain this hidden potential toxin. So find out for yourself at gutcleanseprotocol.com/SGT. That's gutcleanseprotocol.com/SGT. Because after years of research, Dr. Gundry has decided to release an informative video to the public for free and uninterrupted, showcasing exactly which foods you must avoid. So click below and find that video. It's gutcleanseprotocol.com/SGT. Hey friends, welcome back. Thank you so very much for tuning in. It's Sean from SGT Report here. I've got a little story I want to share with you in just 1 minute about my two new friends here, Thaddeus Owen and Heidi Syme. Their podcast is the Primal Hacker Podcast. You can find that over at primalhacker.com and on all of the interwebs where you probably normally find podcasts. I'll tell you the little anecdotal story in just 1 second. Heidi, Thaddeus, welcome.
Thanks, Sean. It's great to be here.
Thank you, Sean.
It's good to see you guys again. Legalize freedom. That's an idea whose time has come, Heidi, and we'll talk about that in this broadcast. But I just want to share with the audience the story. My wife and I mentioned this on one of my shows. We walked into the same bar restaurant, one of our favorite spots in the city in which we live, and we sat down at a high top table. And at that same high top table was Thaddeus and Heidi. And we had no idea who they were, but we saw them drinking wine and looking fabulous. So we quickly made friends. And the rest is history. We're very like-minded. I had no idea about their podcast. By the way, guys, this is the same exact bar restaurant where I ran into Stu Peters and Scott Shera. I don't know what's going on down there. It's right by the river. It's very, very popular. It's very, very trendy. It's very, very cool. And I guess the coolest people hang out there. So, Thaddeus, Heidi, welcome. So great to finally get you on.
Yeah, it's good to be here. I've been following your work since probably like 2018. And I had no idea, like I stopped following a lot of crazy stuff for a little while, and I had no idea that you were local. So running into you was just super magical. It was a lot of fun.
I thought, Sean, the best part of meeting you guys was that we were originally talking about a hot dog eating contest.
That's right. They had the hot dog eating contest on ESPN or something. And we were all just marveling at how disgusting it is. You couldn't get me to eat one of those. I think I called them cancer dogs. And the next thing you know, we're talking about everything, health, freedom, your podcast, mine. Then I think Thaddeus said, "Oh, do you do this type of thing? Like, what's it called?" And I said, "Well, it's SGT Report." And he said, "That's you?" I mean, what a crazy small world. That doesn't happen to me very often, guys.
Yeah. He was like, "Heidi, it's this GT report." I was like, "I know." Yeah, it was good.
You guys are such a cute couple. And what makes you fun is that you actually are truly awake to the tyranny and the treason and everything that's wrong with our nation. And we have a lot to talk about today, not the least of which is mind control. I know you just had on a guest. I don't know this guy, but I got to listen to this. Jason Christoff, and he exposed the mind control tactics in corporate America. And I just want to quote him because, boy, does this make sense as it pertains to the demon rats and their ilk. Quote, "Mind control is based on the weakness of the victim. The weaker you are, the easier you comply to my command." End quote. Boy, is that spot on.
He was literally our first guest on the podcast, which was he's a pretty high level guest to get on when it's your first time doing a podcast ever. And he was our first guest in a podcast that hadn't launched yet. For him to say yes was really gracious of him. And we learned so much. He's got a whole bunch of videos that teach how these mind control tactics work. But one of them, if you look at some of the agendas that are being portrayed in the Netflix series and the movies and advertising, we've seen especially the strong male be taken down to being weaker and more subservient and really more effeminate nowadays. And that's all well and good if that's your preference. But when all the marketing and advertising is targeting younger kids and having them become these weaker versions of men and women, it makes a really big difference in what you're willing to comply to or obey when you are physically weak. And that is part of Jason's idea of the agenda that's being played out right now.
And he also talks a lot about women in that same role and how they're programmed, like the programming goes so far with programming the young women for drinking alcohol, not wanting families. There's a lot of stuff in drinking coffee too. So he's really, really interesting person to learn, like just those more, feminine, masculine dynamics that are embedded in our culture.
Well, Alex Jones was right, but before I go there, coffee, full stop. Tell me more. I drink coffee every day, but I don't go overboard. I usually have 1 cup in the morning and I make it with a Keurig. What's wrong with coffee? What should I be what should I be drinking?
Yeah, of course. So one of the ideas that Jason brings forth, and it's fairly unique. I've heard, we've been in the health space for decades. And so you hear like coffee's really good for you. Coffee's not good for you. Never drink coffee. Always drink coffee. There will be this debate because honestly, some things are good for some people and not good for others. I think coffee has a lot of antioxidants. I'm drinking a cup of coffee right now, even after talking to Jason. Mine is decaf. But what Jason is saying is the way coffee is being portrayed in the movies and the way it's used in corporate America. What's happening to the jobs that we all hold nowadays, if we're a corporate worker, is that most of the intellectual horsepower of our minds is being harnessed into things that are meaningless. And so when you typically, I work in the corporate world and I have for 30 years, most of our jobs, when we come in and we do them, they're very boring and they don't relate to the real world. And in fact, many of them could probably never be done again and nothing would go wrong in our country. So when you're, what Jason says, a slave because you are paying taxes, you're paying for your housing and your transportation and your food, and then there's no money left over. So therefore, basically, you're given just enough money to afford your own housing and food, and then everything else you have to devote to the company that's giving you the money to pay for those things. It's kind of a version of free range slavery. And so the way that they get so many people ingrained in those jobs is to give them meaningless jobs. So if you have a really meaningless job and you're super bored at work and you're falling asleep because you're up all night trying to, drink away through alcohol, potentially your feelings of inadequacy, or watching movies to showcase a life that you'll never live, living vicariously, then you need some coffee to allow your mind to focus on these extremely dull tasks in a way that makes you not go insane. So his whole thought on coffee is it's being pushed in the movies subliminally and in the television shows from a very young age to children, so that we're addicted to this substance, so that when we go to work and we have meaningless jobs, we keep ourselves awake and we stay in those jobs and we don't wake up and go do something else with our lives.
Yeah, there's also another part of that is I think he talks about how it doesn't allow you to kind of come into your prefrontal cortex as much. So when you drink coffee, it keeps you kind of like back in that lizard brain mentality, and you're basically in a survival mode of your daily operation. So therefore, I'm a Kundalini yoga instructor, and so spirituality is really important to me in my life. And so the coffee actually disconnects you from that and from the creative thinking, the frontal cortex. It's a thing that most young men, Sean, are missing. They say you don't develop that until you're like 25. But it actually, so they're saying in extensive amounts of coffee can be really damaging to your health, in my opinion. I recently gave it up, but I switched it. And so this is kind of a funny thing. So I don't drink coffee anymore, but coffee enema is the way to go.
Yeah, I've heard about that in great detail. Jeff Berwick talks about it, and maybe we should go there later in the interview about why that's so important. But alcohol, spirits. By the way, everything you were just talking about the mundane nature of so many pencil pushing jobs, I think that is the exact problem with our nation, with all these bureaucrats in government. But beyond that, it reminds me of Orwell's 1984, going to the worst mundane job in the whole world and pushing a pencil and literally changing history as your job, altering history. I mean, it's kind of like what big tech has done to, Google. I call them a modern day book burning operation.
Well, you just had, Sean, on your SGT report recently, Crow from Crow 777 Radio, and he talks about a friend of his who contacted him a few months ago and said he was hired as an animator by Disney, not to create something new, but to go back to all the old Disney films and add chemtrails into the films.
Yep, 100%. Yep, that is actually true. And let me just show you what I was talking about.
History.
You guys probably have something to say about this, because alcohol, it is one of the most popular forms of drugs that people consume in the United States. And alcohol is said to have come from the Arabic term al-kul and al-gal, which means body-eating spirit. Perhaps that's why they call booze spirits. And by the way, where we met that day, my wife and I were having a beer. You guys were drinking wine, but that entire circumference of that really cool bar restaurant totally ringed in every imaginable whiskey and bourbon as far as the eye can see. It doesn't matter what you want. It doesn't matter if you've heard of something and it's extremely rare. They've got it there. But isn't that interesting to learn that alcohol is really designed to separate you from your spirit and to separate your spirit from God. I mean, as I've gone down that rabbit hole, that's what I've discovered to be true, according to some claims. It makes sense. That's why they push it so hard. I think that's why the liquor stores remained open during the lockdowns in 2020, guys.
Absolutely. And it's one of the longest running legalized drugs in our country. And not that, if you recognize that it's a drug, people use ayahuasca, people use other things intentionally. You can use alcohol in a way that doesn't degrade your spirit. But what can happen is when you are under the influence of alcohol, you're more suggestible. Your defenses are down. And what we study a lot of, and for many, many years, is electromagnetic frequencies, or EMF, specifically man-made EMF and also nature-made EMF, and how they're very different. So when these frequencies are being sent through the airwaves and you let your guard down and you're more susceptible to subliminal energies and influences, then you can be more easily controlled. Now, you can also upgrade your own spirit and your own body through both prayer, through spirituality, through lots of things that can allow, when you are utilizing certain substances, not to have those effects, those negative effects that most people who are completely unaware, and they're being sold a bill of goods in the movies of, you should be consuming alcohol after work because your work sucks and you're super bored. So you're going to go from coffee to alcohol. And the whole time you're allowing these frequencies to affect you subliminally, which starts to change who you are and what you believe in. And that's sort of my opinion of how alcohol is being used.
Well, and I think too, it's kind of like we give an example, like a knife.
All right. So, yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I can't listen to people talk down about my coffee. It's just uncool. It's uncool. I'll talk about my coffee. I get good coffee. I have good coffee. And I need coffee. I live on coffee. Everything. I'm a walking coffee bean. Okay? I can't listen to people just totally destroy coffee for me. I can't allow it. I can't allow it. I'm sorry. Sorry, Sean. I really am. I'm sorry. But yeah. Alcohol, on the other hand, I can agree with. But don't talk about my coffee. All right. Libs of TikTok says IRS is using taxpayer dollars to hire DEI specialists with nearly $200,000 salaries.
Now this, the IRS is hiring a diversity, equity and inclusion specialist who could make nearly $200,000 a year. That, by the way, is 3 times the national average income. Pete Hegseth with me this morning. Pete, how do you feel about your tax dollars paying a DEI expert's salary? I've got a pretty good idea where you stand on this, but go ahead. Let us know.
Well, the thing is, this is just one tiny corner of the federal government, Stuart. We're already paying for hundreds and thousands of DEI specialists, including in the military. This isn't just one job, Stuart, in the IRS. That posting is for 7. And it's not very inclusive, actually, because you can't have it if you're illegal or undocumented or a newcomer. You have to prove that you're a U.S. citizen. So the Democrats don't want you to have to prove that you're a U.S. citizen to vote, but you better prove that you're a U.S. citizen if you want to enforce diversity, equity, and inclusion at the IRS, where their job is to, I don't know, just maintain the tax code. It's everywhere, Stuart. You go to every department, there are overpaid, underqualified, DEI specialists who are wrecking the environment in those places by turning employees against each other.
There are countless corporations which are getting rid of their DEI programs. Lots of private enterprise getting rid of it. But I suspect that because it will not be removed from government, because that is politically dominated in government, and they love it and they want to keep it.
Well, let's hope a new president with the stroke of a pen on day one could get rid of a lot of these DEI prerogatives. Just say we're not doing DEI anymore across the federal government. You're the executive. You can do a lot of that. Let's hope.
Let's hope indeed.
All right. Give me a second here. That's what I want here. Okay. Now we need to go here. Okay, hopefully everybody can hear me. I hope, because I can't turn on the microphone the other way. Oh, yeah, little guy. Yeah, time to wake yourself up. Yep. Yeah. Well, would you look at that? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, good job, mommy. Good job. Yeah, good job. You're doing such a good girl. Yeah. Look at that. Yeah. Hi. Welcome to the world. Yeah. Would you look at that? Yeah. Those ain't your babies. Get on out of there. We know who the daddy is. We know who the daddy is. Don't we, baby? Yes, we do. Good girl. She's such a good girl. Yep. All right. Okay, back to it. Here we go. Let's see. All right. Hopefully that's the last one. Hopefully. I don't know, though. I won't know. We'll have to see how she is in about 10 minutes. If she continues into the panting stage, then that means that there'll be at least one more. But from feeling her out, I was thinking that there was 7 or 8. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It was yeah, Gabriel can put out solid black or solid white puppies. He's the only male that I have that is capable of doing that. And I only have 3 females that are capable of delivering white females. That's Liberty, Jasmine, and Gabe, and now Guinevere. So, what's Carlene says? I don't have my glasses on, so I have a big German Shepherd. He turned 1 year old in April. Oh, right on, right on. That's not his picture though. That looks like a Lassie dog. There, I think that would be a border collie. I think it's called. I'm not positive. You can correct me if I'm wrong there, Carlene. But I would love to see a picture of your German Shepherd. Yeah, it's as a matter of fact, if you guys, I want to do a day where we highlight people's pets, maybe. So if you want to have your pet highlighted, you can either shoot a short video. I would say probably maybe 30 seconds to a minute long. Or send pictures and a quick bio of your pups or your cats, your pets. If you have a pet mouse, then hey, let's highlight the mouse, okay? I have mice, but they're not pets, and I don't want them to be pets. Because I don't have a cat. I don't have a cat to feed the mice to. But yeah, I think maybe at the beginning of next week we'll do a pet menage a trois or collage or whatever you want to call it, and show everybody's pets and your little video clips and things like that. You can send them to the email address on your screen, hawks.mustard.seeds@protonmail.com, and make sure you remember to add the S at the end of Hawks and at the end of Seeds, because sometimes people do forget that, and then it doesn't get delivered to me. I'll leave that address up there for a couple of more minutes where we, absolutely, Denise says that would be cool. I have 5 Chihuahuas. Yeah, see, we could have a totally fun day, fun podcast just showing animals. showing people's pets and animals and stuff like that. It's I love animal clips anyways. It's I've always been that way because I just I'm an animal lover. So Mark Lance says my boys are a German Shepherd, a Dutch Shepherd, and a Chesapeake Bay. They all get along great. Yeah, see now that's one of the things that I do here. Basically, after the pups are able to walk and are big enough that they can run away from the bigger dogs, I introduce them to the pack as quickly as possible. And the reason for that is because I want them that when they get rehomed, that they can get along with any type of animal in your home. So if they if if you have pups that are segregated and caged up, then introducing them to another animal doesn't always go well. So if they're going from a pack of dogs to one or two dogs, that's great because there's more focused attention and everything else. But out of there, you are way too big to be underneath my desk. Yeah, you like Phil from one end to the other. No, it's not happening. I'm not folding my legs and keeping my legs up for you. Sorry, you're a tough guy. Good boy, though. You're a good boy, though. Love you. I do. I love you. Okay. All right. So let me get that email address down off of the screen and get back to our X feed. Here we go. Up next, make sure you have some cash on hand if you have any. What's going on? Bank of America. Here we go.
I'm a Bank of America and everybody's missing money. I'm also missing money over $1,300 and they're telling me to call customer service. And they keep hanging up on people. This another person here is also missing money. So we're trying to see what's going on. Money's missing today and we need our money. And they're already telling us to call customer service. And customer service ain't doing nothing about it. So just a heads up, if anybody's experiencing this, please let us know because this is not right. I'm missing $1,400 from my account, and they're telling me that there's no way they can help us. This guy's missing money too. This other person missing money too. And you missing money too? There you go. So this is not something that's just one person. This is everybody's happening to them. And this is crazy. This is very crazy. Yes, Bank of America decided to take people's money without their consent. And we're asking what's going on, and they're giving us a runaround. Everybody for the same thing, man. Same thing.
Yep. They stealing.
I'm a Bank of America, and
they stealing, and that's not cool. People worked hard for their money. All right, Colorado, unbelievable. Illegal alien who was illegally driving a commercial vehicle and fatally killed a 64-year-old man receives only 1 year in jail. The judge comes out and says, this is outrageous. Ignacio Cruz Mendoza, 47-year-old Mexican national who was charged after crashing a semi-truck that caused the death of father and grandpa, Scott Miller, and caused injuries to multiple others. He was driving a semi-truck for a company named Monique Trucking while not having his commercial driver's license. Mendoza was previously ordered to be deported 16 times over the years. He has been an alcohol and drug abuser dating back to 2002 when he was convicted of drug charges in Oregon back in 2002. The piece of shit district attorney announced he would be facing lesser charges of careless driving rather than the original charges of vehicular homicide and assault. The judge even questioned why they changed. The state claims they did not have enough evidence. The judge even felt like this was unjust. There's just no reason why this man shouldn't be in jail longer. He deliberately caused this accident because he got behind the wheel of a truck when he did not have the proper skills or license to do so. And he needs to be held accountable. We need to hold all of these people accountable. So now he gets to enjoy his sentence in a mushy jail for 1 year, maybe less, with good behavior on the taxpayer's dime, and then released back into the streets of America again. Not to mention They list the illegal alien as white. Everything is broken. Here we go.
Taken from you out of nowhere. He was just young. He was only 64, and I just want everybody to know my dad was fun. He was an awesome dad. He was an awesome grandfather. He left behind a grandson and a granddaughter, and they miss him. We're all gonna miss him.
Officials say Cruz Mendoza was in the country illegally and did not have his commercial driver's license.
There is a lot of layers to this that goes from the federal government down to the state and local government, where there's just a lot of things that are falling through the cracks to make sure that our drivers that are on the roads are safe. Taken from you out of
And this is that piece of shit right here. Yep. I'm sorry. It's just, yeah. It's just amazing that all this crap is happening. All this crap, you know. Laura Logan says, how many roads lead to the trafficking, abuse, rape, sacrifice of minors? All of them. Wall Street Babe says Donald Trump today confirms release of the Jeffrey Epstein client list. Here we go.
Senior political correspondent at Puck News, Tara Palmieri, tweeted yesterday in response to the FBI's Mar-a-Lago raid. There's always a Jeffrey Epstein angle. Bruce Reinhart, the magistrate in West Palm who signed off on the warrant to search Trump's Mar-a-Lago, left the U.S. Attorney's Office to represent Epstein's staff, his first sex trafficking case.
Palmieri also wrote Epstein's victims named Bruce Reinhart in their Crime Victims' Rights Act case against the government, accusing him of using inside Justice Department info when he switched sides to work for Epstein. Palmieri, who is also the host of Dr. Delirium and the Edgewood Experiments, joins us now to discuss. Welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. What we all want to know is, what should we make of this connection here to Epstein, and is there anything to read into that, or is it just a kind of funny or unfortunate coincidence?
It's interesting. So yesterday I woke up in the morning and I read what everybody else did about who had actually signed off on this warrant, Bruce Reinhart. And all of a sudden a light bulb went off my head because, as you know, I hosted 2 podcasts on Jeffrey Epstein, Broken, Seeking Justice, and Power the Maxwells. And they really dug into the Palm Beach case and all the corruption around it. A big advantage that Jeffrey Epstein had was that he had so much more money than the victims he was up against, right? Well, really the government, who should have been prosecuting him. And he hired a ton of people from inside the government to represent him. And at the time, I remembered that Bruce Reinhart ended up becoming one of his lawyers. He worked for the Southern District of Florida that was prosecuting him for this sex crime case in 2008, and that was the Sweetheart deal that we all remember, where he spent time in county jail half the time on work release, really didn't serve any time for the crime. Now, this isn't to say there's really any connection between the two, but I remember, wow, Bruce Reinhart is back in federal government, and he was, just so happened to be the person who signed off on this warrant. I know I have really dug right deep into this Crime Victims' Rights Act case that the victims signed against the government because they were upset that they didn't know about Epstein's Sweetheart deal. They didn't know there was a plea deal. They felt like this was a huge injustice.
Wow.
And I remember also that they named him in their suit. They felt like it was unfair that Epstein, with all of his wealth, was able to take, civil servants and hire them to represent him. And there's no proof that he took any inside Justice Department information, but ostensibly, if you're working for the other team and then you get bought to play for the other team, a few things that, so I'm not saying there's any direct connection, like Epstein, told him to raid this from the grave or anything, but there's history there with Reinhart. And I think anybody who's ever worked with Epstein in some capacity or as some
Anybody who's worked with Epstein in any capacity, I would have liked to have seen the entirety of this video. Actually, I want to see if there's more on this. I'm going to check here real quick. No, All right. I was looking to see if maybe because every once in a while they will have a second video included about things. And it would have been cool if it was. Oh, I'm not playing Alex Jones. Sorry, guys. But yeah, I can't do the Mossad today. I'm just not in the mood for it. And although he was a part of pretty much everybody's awakening at different periods of time, different information and things like that. He's still a controlled individual, and I don't think he just doesn't have any place on my podcast. Bridget Gabrielle, what are you sympathizing with terrorism? Here we go.
Kamala is the one who said she sympathizes with the human emotion of these protesters. What are you sympathizing with, terrorism? Joe Biden, I mean, where is he? Has he made a speech about anything? I mean, an American just got shot on the head. Where is everyone? Where's the accountability? I just don't get it anymore. And you know what? I might be going off the lamb here. If you're Jewish and you vote for Democrats, you're crazy. I'm sorry. You're insane. Come on.
Very simple. Very short, very simple. If you're still voting for him, you're freaking insane. Yep. Yeah. Ian Carroll is a great one for people to wake up to. Absolutely buffering. I agree with that comment 100%. It's Ian Carroll is responsible for putting a lot of really, really good content out lately that put a bunch of fine lines into a lot of the information that we've been looking at and stuff, and connecting dots and things. We may have researched the topics that he talks about, but he really connects the dots for us. And I think that's just an incredible feat. All right. Colin Rugg says, John McCain's son, Jimmy, says he's so disgusted that Trump would turn Arlington into a campaign backdrop that he is voting for Kamala. Ironically, in 1999, John McCain himself used Arlington National Cemetery as a campaign backdrop in a political ad. All right. Then presidential candidate John McCain was seen walking through Arlington. The incident got so much attention that McCain was forced to remove the footage from his ad. McCain to remove Arlington footage from campaign ad, and LA Times headline read from November 12th of 1999. Republican presidential candidate Senator John McCain will remove footage of Arlington National Cemetery from his campaign's biographical television ad, the report read. The Army said this week that the Arizonans campaign did not ask permission to film him at the cemetery. Any request to do so would have been denied because partisan activity is banned at Army installations, and Army said the LA Times reported at that time. It just blows me away, these men and women that are laying in the ground that have no choice of whether to be a backdrop or political campaign, he said, according to CNN. Will Jimmy be condemning his father, the traitor? Will you, Jimmy? Are you gonna condemn your father, the traitor? No name McCain? Yeah.
Never forgetting those heroes with whom he served. Never forgetting those heroes with whom he served. He returned home, spirit unbroken.
Now, I'm going to pause this for a second. I wonder how many of the guys that he got killed because he was the biggest snitch in Vietnam. I wonder how many of those guys he went to their gravesite and quietly stood over their stones and said, "Oh no, sorry, I did that to you, but I had to further my future political gain." Yeah, I wonder how many.
Again, devoting himself to his country. Navy officer, congressman, senator, taking on the establishment and defying special interests. And never forgetting those heroes with whom he served. Today, John McCain is ready to lead America into the new century. His mission to fundamentally reform government. More experience and more courage than anyone. Ready to be president and leader of the free world.
I swear to you that from my first day in office to the last breath I draw, I'll do everything in my power to make you proud of your government.
John McCain for president. Never forgetting those heroes.
One of the biggest traitors to our country. in the history of this country, next to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Right there. So, Jimmy, how about it? Or do you just fall in line with your sister there and defending your Cindy McCain and your mama defending your daddy? Huh? Piece of shit. Go fuck yourself. Dinesh D'Souza says this video is confirmed to be real from the Culver City Police Department. A team of YouTubers who catch scammers recorded an interaction with Culver City Police Department where the officers refused to arrest an illegal immigrant who committed a crime because they said Culver City is a sanctuary city. This is what we're fighting for this November. Yep. Here we go.
We'll grab his information and see what we can do, but there's, you know, like I said, there's...
Can you please collect the information? He said that he's already illegal. He already said that he went to...
Okay, hold on. Let's back up a little bit. First off, we're a sanctuary city. Even if he is legal here, we cannot call ICE and report him.
But you still have to report that, right?
No, we don't. Because it's a sanctuary city. We do not report illegal undocumented.
So you're going to let a person who went to prison, he committed a crime in America, who's illegal right now, you're going to let him go free right now to this elevator?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Because we're a sanctuary city. I've arrested a double homicide suspect in this city before and let him walk out the door because we're a sanctuary city. We're not going to call ICE to come pick him up and deport him.
He came to pick up $320,000 from your, him, or mine, grandmother and grandfather, and he's walking away freely right now, right?
Yep. Yep. Go ahead. Walk free there, pal. Yep. Yeah. I'm looking to see if there's more on this. So when cops are not enforcing the law, what are they? They are going against their oath. Yep. All right. Her impressions of Democrats are spot on and hilarious. Here we go.
So Trump has always been pro-choice, but now that he's like standing up on a podium and being like, I'm pro-choice, what in the hell are these Democrats that foam at the mouth when I say I'm voting for Trump and go, what about women's rights? It's gonna take away my women's rights. No, he did it the 4 years he was in office. My right. What are they gonna say now that he's standing on business saying that he is pro-choice? What are they gonna scream in my comments? Oh, he's a felon. My body, my right. The rights that you always had, and have always had. Oh, now they're just gonna be like, what? He's a felon. He's orange. Well, now he's pro-choice. Oh, but my rights. Oh no, not your rights that you have every single right of. That there's a woman running for president. What are you talking about your rights? There's places right now where women have to fucking peer through 27 sheets with one eye, otherwise they'll get their hand chopped off. And you're abortion it goes to go back to the states and my rights. Those people that say that, they should have to peer through the thing every single day. Even at the pool, you have to peer through it. Have rights.
Yeah, how about that? I think she got it pretty much. Yeah, right on. All right, Chuck Callisto says Kamala Harris undocumented. I'm just going to let it explain itself. Here we go.
It is our undocumented immigrants that are the least likely to commit a crime.
Reports show migrant crime is making up the majority of arrests in New York City. In fact, police report as many as 75% of the people they've arrested in Midtown Manhattan for assault, robbery, and domestic violence are illegal migrants, according to the New York Post. 60% of those arrests of migrants are in Queens.
It is.
Yeah. What's up with that, Kamala? Undocumented immigrants are the least likely to commit a crime. Yeah, but that's all we see on TV. This guy's got a great message here. George put this up. Here we go.
My brothers and sisters,
I'm going to go on record and say, listen, these issues may not be important to you, although I believe that they should be. But for me, these issues that I just shared with you in this chart weigh so heavy on my spirit. They weigh more for me personally than issues of healthcare and criminal justice reform, although those are very important. But these issues weigh so much more heavily for me that I cannot in good conscience support a party that wants to redefine what family looks like. Family, the very core of our society. I cannot vote to pass laws that would encourage and allow children to mutilate their bodies, sometimes not even requiring parental consent. I cannot vote for a party that wants to enforce laws that would allow LGBTQ plus couples to get married to one another. I cannot support a party that's in favor of a parent possibly losing custody of their child because they don't affirm that child's decision to transition. I cannot vote for a party that is in favor of little children of opposite sexes sharing bathrooms together. I cannot vote for my daughter to one day have to compete athletically against a biological male. I just can't. I just can't. And for that reason, I'm going to go on record and say I cannot support that party. You have the right to vote however you want. And this is not me pushing my perspective on you. I'm just simply sharing with you where I'm at and the reasons why I am choosing to vote the way I'm going to vote. Here's the final question that I want to leave you with today. I think we're asking the wrong question. When you place your vote, I don't think we should be asking the question, does this party promote values that are biblical? Because as I've shared with you in this video, you could make an argument that both parties are promoting some values that are biblical. But rather, I think we need to be asking the question, which party is promoting values that are unbiblical, that directly go against the scriptures and directly against a Christian biblical worldview? I cannot tell you who to vote for or how to vote, but I can tell you, for me, these issues weigh more for me. And even though they're all important and should not be minimized, these issues are the ones that I believe are the weightier matters of the law.
Yeah. No, this is a Christian YouTuber, Alan Pear. I'm not sure if it's Alan Pear or Parr, P-A-R-R. You know, I think his message is good. It's sound. And I think that especially young Black Americans are going to listen and possibly make a choice, you know, based upon something more factual, you know. All right. Wall Street Babe says, no longer a conspiracy theory, confirmed the feminism movement was pushed by the CIA. What? How
What
could
do
that
people
be?
your age think about it, about feminism?
They don't think that it's a conspiracy being, you know, like an anti-natalist, satanic conspiracy.
They're
No,
uninformed.
I think you might have a little something going on. But, I think that's
Listen,
right.
hold
No.
You got to qualify that statement a little bit.
She's calling me crazy, even though it's well documented that Gloria Steinem was a CIA agent.
I think you have a little conspiracy-minded thing going on where you're looking for a conspiracy in everything.
No, I just am informed and educated, and I'm not arrogant enough to assume that my ignorance means that somebody else is crazy.
I mean,
That
I
could
can
be
also
you,
say I'm informed and educated, and I, you know, like we can go back and forth saying that forever.
Well, so do you know then that what she's saying about Gloria Steinem is not only correct, but that through the Congress for Cultural Freedom in the 60s and 70s, the CIA was pushing feminism through like 40 different publications around the world. They sent, you know, people to
I mean, so what
festivals.
if Gloria Steinem was like a CIA operative? Gloria Steinem's not the only
No,
feminist
I'm
in
saying
the
it's
world.
not just her. I'm saying the Congress for Cultural Freedom, which was a widespread CIA program that went around the world in dozens of countries and had hundreds of magazines, newspaper outlets, all pushing feminism. This was not just like one lady. This was like a broad effort during the Cold War to kind of differentiate Western liberal values from Russia. So they pushed feminism in the I mean, are you anti like classical liberalism and Western liberal values?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
but you're also anti-communist. I'm very curious. What I mean, maybe that's off topic, but
You can be both.
Are you also anti-communist? Yeah, I think so. All right, here we go. Benny Johnson.
Congresswoman, I have a feeling you're going to get quite a few clips out of the show because I refuse. I call her Commie Camilla on the program, and that may get us in trouble actually during this interview.
Well, if her policies weren't so commie-like, it's real though. The fact is, I like you said, feline energy. I'm going to have to steal that from you. That's a great name for it. But you're right.
Meow.
Yeah.
Meow. They were like,
This
grown man coming for you, like crying tears. Meow.
And the other thing is too, like if you turn down the volume, you can actually see them physically almost like trying to lunge for my body. And I'm like, it's so insane. And by the way, right after the show, here it is. Here's that professor hitting on me, begging for photos, telling me how gorgeous I am, and saying that we look good together, sending me a kissy emoji. That guy doing that, but he's all bent out of shape because of the way I said Kamala. He wasn't bent out of shape. It was all like everything on the radical left. It's just an act. It's just a complete act.
Wait a second. So he does this whole game, this whole like cat and mouse game where he's like, how dare you? We're so upset.
I have blood on my hands.
Legacy, this legacy. You're personally responsible for every bad thing that ever happened in America. Also, I'm going to hit on you.
Yeah, like literally, we have video of it, him begging for the selfie photos. He hits on me afterwards on text, and I'm just like, number one, gross. I don't want your kissy emojis. I don't want you telling me how gorgeous I am or we look good together. Totally. I mean, and it was all just a complete act. They didn't mean anything of it. They just wanted to get likes and get attention. They didn't want to debate the real issues like inflation, like spending, like illegal immigration, or women's issues, by the way, because they won't define what a woman is. But and then to go hit on me afterwards, like, oh, it's all okay. No, it's not okay, because you basically slandered me in live, television like that, saying I had the blood of Black people on my hands. When the fact is Joe Biden, Bill Clinton, rapper Lil Jon, Al Sharpton, Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor can't say her name for what. Like, give me an effing break.
Congresswoman, she can't say her name. We have miles of tape. Feel free to grab it. Let's grab it, boys. Like we have miles of to prove your point. We have miles of tape of her saying her name the way that you said her name on CNN. So, I mean, I guess go to the source, right?
Yeah.
I think the same day Joe Biden introduced her the way that you said her name on CNN. And so it's like, just call it.
They say it worse. They say Kamala. And I'm like, Kamala sounds like a flower. It sounds beautiful. Allah is the way Indians say it in Indian culture. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't say it wrong. I now know it's Kamala. Some people want to say Kamila, whatever you want to say it. It's just like, it's so, let's talk about what you're going to do to women and underage girls if these people are in charge. Let's talk about the spending and inflation that Kamala is personally responsible for being the deciding vote on inflationary spending. Let's talk about how she wants illegals to vote in our elections and wants them to come across the border. I mean, they don't want to talk about real policies because their policies are wrong for America. They don't put our citizens first.
Just really quickly covering here, the guy's pickup line didn't work then afterwards.
No, oh, hell no. God, no. I mean, absolutely not. I'm not dating at all right now. I'm like 100% married to the job, focused on the work and working for the American people right now. But it's just disgusting. And it's like, anybody wants to come after me and make claims that I'm racist, I just show them the text. I'm like, here's the video of him begging me for photos and selfies after the show, and then hitting on me afterwards. It was all just a complete act. It was all a lie. That's what the radical left does. It is a complete and utter lie. They are lying to the American people. They are gaslighting to the American people. And all I want to share with the American people is the truth. That is what everybody deserves, regardless of your political party or affiliation or who you're voting for. You deserve the truth. And the most truthful man running for president is Donald J. Trump. And that's who we've all got to support.
Right on. Yep. And that was Representative Nancy Mace. Yep. All right. Chicago resident posts warning to Venezuelans taking over Chicago.
To all Venezuelans in Chicago, this is the warning. If you ain't on no bullshit, stay neutral. Somebody please translate. Stay neutral. If you know somebody that's in your building on bullshit, don't let them run in that building, and don't let nobody see them run in that building. Because once word get out that that's the building that they in, they gonna chop that bitch down. Whatever building, the abandoned building y'all occupying and all that shit, yeah, you better get your food and just stay in the house, because they come out doing some bullshit. Y'all gonna regret that. You're gonna really regret that. So I don't speak Spanish, so somebody need to translate. I hope they got TikTok that translate, I guess. They can kind of make me seem like I'm speaking Spanish. But anyway, take this like a grain of salt if you like. But this ain't Colorado. This ain't Utah. This ain't none of them places. This is just like where you from. The only difference is y'all use a lot of handgun, old revolvers, and machetes and shit. We got switches. If you're not familiar with what a switch is, we will show you. We don't really be with all the telling and shit. But we will definitely show you what a switch is. So, again, somebody translate. Yeah. Make this known. This ain't like Colorado. I'm just saying.
Yep. I have a feeling that things are going to heat up there. Yep. All right. Here's a little script keeper for it.
Yo, the funniest shit that I hear is all you Q people are making Americans complacent. You're making everybody wait. No, you got your own fucking mind. People that believe in Q, it's a small fucking section of people that believe in Q. A small section, okay? It's not as big as you think. The rest are NPCs, and then you have pod people running around here that, like, I don't know what happened. I don't know. Maybe they hit them with 5G fucking radiation, and their brains went back to fucking saying, oh, it's goddamn, the world's ending. It's ending. I'm still fucking carrying on with life like nothing happened. And those are still there. You see them? See the 5G towers? Still there. Still there. Still there. So much more work to do, right? Okay, then. Don't worry about me. I won't worry about you, but I guarantee Mike will be speaking about me today on Michelle Moore Show. Hit it, Ron. Yo.
Hit it, Ron. I like that. Yeah. Script keeper, he ain't holding back on nothing. He's tired of these games, and these jokers. And that's basically what they are too. They're really showing their own true colors. I have a feeling that it is going to be a very uncomfortable future for some people as more and more of this begins to unravel, and people realize who's been taking them for a ride and who hasn't been. It's just yeah. Oh, it's going to be something. It's going to be something. All right, we already hit that one. Oh, all right. This is a pretty good one here. This Kevin O'Leary again. We showed him earlier when he was talking about Elon Musk. I thought that this one here was pretty cool because he really goes into talking about the uninvestable areas. Okay. What do I mean by uninvestable? Meaning that people do not want to take their companies or corporations or even start new businesses in these states because of the, because of the fact that the government or the local governments of these places have basically made the states uninvestable. And you can't argue with them because of the fact that, well, let's hear them out first, and then we'll talk about it after. Here we go.
And here's the one thing that nobody saw coming, and this is the competition of states. I don't put companies here in New York anymore, or in Massachusetts, or in New Jersey, or in California. Those states are uninvestable. The policy here is insane. The taxes are too high. We put them in Fargo, North Dakota, because 40% of the people work elsewhere, including Boston. So I was, a bit of a debate with Elizabeth Warren about this, but I say, look, Senator, we've got to move the companies out of your state because you're not investable anymore. You're punishing people if they're successful. You overtax them. You hit them with a super tax. New Jersey, what a mess. New York, uninvestable.
Wait, why is New York uninvestable?
Try and do a project in New York. Try and build a
Yeah,
data.
I'm asking, Don's point, is it beyond the taxes?
Oh, the regulatory environment is punitive. I had a project in upstate New York behind the grid in Niagara Falls for electricity, a global data center we were building. Eventually, it got so bad with the politicians in the local region and the state policy, we moved it to Norway and all the jobs. Norway has it now. Thousands of jobs coming out of that. I mean, that's New York, uninvestable. Sorry, don't shoot the messenger, just telling you the way it is.
Yeah,
That's it,
we hear
uninvestable.
some pushback from our elected officials in New York on
I was
that.
just going to say Kathy Hochul.
Yeah, but
I'll debate them any time of the day you want.
we would love to set that
Particularly
up. I'd watch
AOC,
that.
she's great at killing jobs. She kills jobs by the thousands. You know, another New Jersey problem. Where did Amazon take their jobs? They took them away from her. She threatened to sue them if they created jobs. I mean, this is a reality. It's a reality that
There's a little more to it, but let's not relitigate that.
sorry, I just telling the truth.
He's saying what a lot of people are saying, especially what happened with that Amazon thing here in New York. Just real quickly, I don't want to hog the conversation, but what was Elizabeth Warren's response when you said that to her?
Look, I have a lot of respect for her because it's okay to have a debate about politics, but not policy. When you have punitive policy, you're making a mistake. And I want to just put up my hand and say, I don't agree, Senator, with your policy. I respect you as a politician, a very successful one. You know, she's very successful. And that's the state where I grew my kids. I mean, our family grew up in Boston, Massachusetts. We left there to move to Florida like everybody else is because it's such a tough place to, this is a tough message. People really are critical about this, but somebody has to call it out because this is a competition of states now. And we don't put money there anymore. We put it in other places, and jobs are created elsewhere. Over time, this is going to diminish New Jersey, diminish New York, diminish Massachusetts, and California out of business. Out of business. El Morte. No business there. You can't do business there. I don't know what that place is going to turn into. Maybe a tourist zone, but no business. Imagine San Francisco. You can't even walk at night out in the street. Sorry.
Talk about what's happening, though.
And this is the thing is it's not just the crime, but it's the actual, the policies and the tax liabilities and everything else that it all boils down to. It's not just one little thing. It is so many things. And they have made it uninvestable. And that's a real shame. When communities can use good businesses, businesses who actually do what they say that they're going to do, provide what they say they're going to provide. And here we go, all right. At this point, anything can happen. Here's a little Gene Ho.
All righty, me and Dave Blaze talking it over. And check out this scenario. If it might happen. You never know. What's the odds? Anyway, check out the scenario. So, Trump goes to sentencing, and after sentencing, the media storm with Trump, whatever it might be. But here's the interesting thing. Could you imagine a scenario where after that, Trump replaces Vance with RFK? Could you imagine that? Think of the media storm. Think of the cold water that would be doused into the momentum of Harris, Walz. Anyway, think about that also because of this, and it's very interesting. Originally, you had the scenario where once he endorsed Trump, that RFK was going to take his name off of some of the battleground states. In fact, some of the battleground states said, nope, you can't do that. Well, if he's on the other ticket, then we would say that they have to do that. Anyway, what do you think the odds of that's going to happen? Leave your thoughts in the comments.
Something to think about. We talked about this yesterday. All right. Okay. Crime is rampant, and these people are calling the cops because they don't know how to read an Applebee's menu. Here we go.
Sir, we're the one called. Okay, they have a $15.99 special unlimited. Me and my sister both got one, and then we ordered dessert.
You called?
Yeah, we called because the man told us, because I gave a plate of shrimp to my brother. He told us we gotta pay for him eating it. That's not what they special say. If you go look at their menu, it don't tell you. That's like you eating and you give something to your sister or your friend. It don't tell you nowhere on there if you share food. Then they charge us 15. It's a unlimited.
Right.
He told us because we share food. They charged us for every person that ate at the table. You can't do that because it don't say that.
Talking about some well, I'm telling you,
because I recorded the girl behind us will tell you. You can't tell us if we ordering it. It don't say if you this only for one person. It say $15.99 per person unlimited. It don't say $15.99. But no, sir, he told us because he ate. I gave him my plate of shrimp. He told me he charged because he seen our shrimp. You can't tell me if I don't want to eat something, then I can't give it to nobody.
I get where you're coming from.
But they know we wasn't.
Okay, you're paying $15.99, so 3 adults can eat the one.
It's multiple things. It's endless.
15, but I'm thinking myself.
But it's endless. It doesn't say
Okay.
they limit how much you can get. It doesn't say that. No, sir, they should say that. I'm gonna be honest. If you saying that, you should say per person. It doesn't say per person. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say per person though. It just say 15. And my thing is, if he charged us for 3, he's trying to charge us for everybody at the table. You can't do that.
So you're trying to do the $15.99, so every single one of you eat for $15.99.
The way that says it's just $15.99 unlimited. Give you 3 options. It's one thing he tried to charge us 1, 2, and 3. Carter, stop, TT man, stop. Okay, I'll take him back in the other room. Just take him back in there.
$15.99 per person. It says it right there.
Okay, that's one thing. That's what I just said. And for us 3 adults,
okay,
we ordered the kids some.
He's sitting here and talk to me about we're fucking savages to speak on. And I say that to me. No.
That's enough. Are you being warned for disorderly conduct? If she doesn't shut up, she's going to jail.
I'm going to jail.
I'm telling you one more time. One more time.
Shut up! It's not worth it. Get the fuck out me. I can say what I want. If I come in there and put my shit down, and he gets to talking to me, I got to myself. Just please shut up. Right. You want to do all this, but you don't want to say nothing to him for disrespecting me.
Look at what you're doing.
I would have put my drink down. And the man is right. Get him now. Get him.
Please, sir.
Please, can I talk to you? Please,
y'all must have get something to tell now.
Can I have her keys to her car? Please. They on my thing. Please. Sir, please, can I talk to you? Please.
Take the keys. No, she's going to jail.
I'm going to jail because I had something to say about somebody.
Please, woo-woo, just please, I'm going with you. But please, sir, can I
me because I had something to say about him disrespecting me. Because I had something to say about him disrespecting me.
Get in the car.
I gotta go to jail because I had something to say about him disrespecting.
So now you're gonna be resisting, right?
I'm not resisting.
Then get in the car.
But you're really telling me I'm going.
Yeah, wait. That's not all, folks. That's not all. That's part 1. That's part 1. Let's hit part 2. Here we go.
I gave her 3 chances.
Okay, because y'all, you being very aggressive and rude, and all I'm doing is trying to take it out when
Listen,
you get done.
How many times? How many chances did I give her?
I know, but I asked her, sir, when I asked her, I said, when he done, can I talk to her? She being aggressive with me. Back up and do it after. All I'm asking is when you're done, can I talk to you?
Yes, absolutely.
But she was doing.
But you're inhibiting my job right now, okay?
I wasn't admitting your job. I was back. But I said, when you're done.
You're getting in my. All right, so listen, okay, that's fine.
All I was asking, can I talk to you when you were done? I don't think I was wrong because I'm not in your space. I'm not trying to stop you. I'm just asking, could I talk to you? That's all I was asking her when you were done.
Listen, you're done. You're talking to me now.
All I'm asking.
So what happened with inside?
The man. Thank you. That man was very disrespectful. It wasn't even about paying the bill. It's how he was talking to her.
The man that walked out.
No, this man. No, that man said something about what happened, but she was our witness. That man was very. It wasn't about paying the bill. It's a way to say everything. Sir. Okay. It's an approach. That man was very disrespectful.
How much did you pay?
We didn't pay anything, and he actually went up on the bill because it was less than that. It was actually $115. Actually, started. So I tell her to shut up.
She's already going to jail.
Ask her. Can I ask her to be quiet?
No, she's.
No, I'm just saying. Please, y'all give what she wants to ask her to.
So listen, as far as the bill,
the bill is going to be paid. The bill is going to be paid.
I mean, you've seen it. It's
I see that now. I see that now. But all I'm just asking.
What's? I mean, you. Make your ID on your card.
Yes, I need to gladly get it.
Borders 493, clear for 2729. All right, appreciate it. All right, so
you can run my information, everything.
So
All it was is when the man came to the table, we were saying like
you thought he was being disrespectful to you?
He was. He wasn't no felt. The way he said it, you motherfuckers not finna come here and da. Like she said, she recorded. The girl was our witness, and it wasn't even that he asked. Is how it's a way to say everything. And like I told him, you want your job. You are management of a restaurant. That's not how you talk to people.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
You could say something within in a manner that you don't want people to get crazy on you.
Absolutely, especially if there's people around. I get where you're
coming from. And that's when that dude that came out, he was sitting behind. My thing was, I felt my sister. You didn't hear what he said at the table. The girl was actually sitting behind and hear what he said to her. So he didn't understand. When I got up, and I'm gonna be honest, I said something. You're not gonna talk to me like that. It's a way to say you're not gonna be. You don't have to be disrespectful. You're choosing to be. It's a difference. You're choosing to be disrespectful. And I told him, I would call 911 for you, and I did call.
You guys were under the impression that it was $15.99, not per person.
But it's okay that we know that now.
Okay.
Even when he said that, or whatever.
All she had to do would just be quiet and cooperative.
But
how many chances did they give her?
You did, but sir, you was quick to arrest her too at the same time.
I can't allow screaming.
That man was disrespectful to her. He came out the door saying, "Y'all are savages." Not him, the man that was in the black shirt. He said, "Y'all are ratchet and stuff." You feel right there when the man came out the door and told us she were savages and ratchet. He did say that.
Oh, but wait, there's more.
And he didn't know. He kept talking.
He said, "Officer, have a good night," and he walked away.
No, he didn't.
After I told her to listen, I'm not going to get into an argument with.
I know you're not, but no, he didn't. When you said be quiet, he was still talking, calling us savages and ratchet as he walked away. Then he told you to have a good night.
So as far as
and
this,
see, that's why she said you don't hear that. My sister's 28.
All right. So as far as this, I mean, you guys are going to pay the bill.
I'm going to pay the bill right now. It's because it's just not that deep.
All right. Well, let's just go inside.
It's just not that deep. It's just not that deep.
Indiana or Illinois? Her?
Me.
Well, you're from Indiana.
She's staying in Illinois.
Okay. No, not.
Why?
I gave her 3 chances.
Who's paying? I'm going to pay.
Yeah.
Nothing. Please.
No. I can't do
Please
it. At this point, no.
So where are y'all taking us?
Porter County Jail.
I don't even know that.
It's 49 and 30.
25 something.
I don't know. Just Google Porter County Jail. Porter County Sheriff's Department. So I mean, you've seen it on the menu. It's $15.99 per person. You've seen it, right?
I saw that. No, I didn't. I thought it was the same.
I know you guys are under the wrong impression. Sir, as far as her, I don't know if who is that to you? Girlfriend? All right. Well, she's gonna be taken for sort of conduct. All right. I mean, you've seen her. 3 chances, man.
I was just saying, why come other people aren't being talked to as well? For example,
when I told them to be quiet, they walked away and be quiet. How many times did I tell your girlfriend to be quiet?
But what about them being in there? That's what I'm saying.
Sir, I can't do anything about that in there. I didn't witness it.
I know. I'm just saying the only reason that she went back in there is because they told her she had to because of what was in her hand. And they come and gaslight. I just like that's considered gaslighting and or antagonizing an issue that's already there. Because I know for a fact, that's not a normal response. That's somebody antagonizing.
I get why you'd be upset about that.
I was just
I get that. And I get why she'd be pissed off about that.
And
I would be too. But at the same time, it's just listen, I told them, listen, be quiet and get out of here. They did so. How many times did I tell her to be quiet? I get that, dude. But we can't have this screaming, especially when I tell you 3 times, be quiet. I looked at you and I was like, dude, Come on, I have to do my job. Disturbing the peace.
There could be a warning. This is never like that's what I'm saying. This is the first time any of this is even happening. As far as the first, that's how it's like a first offense. Usually stuff like that can get resolved where they say just like just don't come back here again, stuff like that.
At this point,
I'm just saying, why couldn't that be a better? Why couldn't that have been?
Because I gave her 3 warnings, and that's more than I usually get. Usually, you get your 1 warning for disorderly conduct, and then don't. I gave her 3 opportunities.
You guys, or just
it's just impersonal, disorderly conduct. You're disturbing the peace. It's also because they're under the impression that all you can eat. They can order at one time and can eat, sleep. Everybody that's here. It says on the thing it's $15 per person.
So it's over the bill.
It all stems from that. I guess the manager was disrespectful to her. They came outside. Another couple had walked outside, and I guess they had some words inside. Like, yeah, you guys are savages, just like that shit. So I told them to be quiet, separate. She's like, okay, no problem. Walked away. 3 fucking chances for her. You heard the scream.
Yeah, I saw her not cooperating with me by the car. So I'm good with it.
Yeah, no problem. She's paying the bill.
So you need an yeah, not you. One of these guys will. I'm sure Jay will try to.
If you take the kids and I'm going with her, okay? Take the kids to the house.
But wait, there's more.
I'll let her get into the
Everybody get in their seatbelt. Get in your seatbelt. Get in your booster seat.
Yeah.
Tristan, where your phone at? Give it to him. And get him the code.
No.
Okay, man.
No,
I have his information.
Give him your phone. Where your phone?
It's a weekend.
It could be done
Sunday.
Are you back Sunday?
Come and get the phone out the car.
Yeah.
I don't care. I mean, I just get wrapped up in whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me. I'm gonna get out of here. Just make sure you get your stuff done. Do you have anything to say?
No, I just want to go home with my kids.
I'm patting you down.
I'm turning around because you hurt me.
No, I did not.
Okay, you just turn me again. I'm turning when you move.
Because you keep turning, girl. Go and spread your legs.
Can I go home?
Negative. Spread your legs.
I did spread my legs. You turned me.
Yeah, you have a listening problem.
Who's transporter? Jay?
Oh, actually,
Jay, where's your car? It's over here.
I know that, and I know that, but you had a lady come out here and say that she witnessed that too. That's why I was saying, like, you had even a customer came out here and said she.
They were warned for disorderly too.
They went to jail.
No, so they were warned for disorderly conduct.
But they wasn't disorderly when you were being disrespected in the management.
Listen, when they walked out, right? You guys exchanged some words. You both were warned for disorderly conduct at that time. You 3 and them too. They left cooperatively without a problem. She's the one that kept escalating it. How many times did I look at you and him? Calm her down. Tell her to be quiet. No. 3 chances. She's going. You couldn't even calm her down. How many times you were in her face yelling at her? You had your hand over her mouth.
Am I allowed to talk now, or because I'm gonna leave? You told me to go back inside. But I was sitting next to her in the booth tonight. I don't know who this lady is, but I'm a server also, and the man who came and yelled at her children and her.
That's what we're trying to tell you.
Those were the couple that walked outside.
That's the same person. That's what you're
that's
trying to
working
tell
inside.
you.
But that's okay.
He was like, "I'm not serving you guys." He was being
Like,
rude.
I
He
get
was
it.
being rude.
Okay.
She was
that-
still being disorderly outside.
They were warned for disorderly conduct. As far as being inside, there's nothing I can do about
Okay,
that.
I get what you're saying. You
We
wasn't
can't.
there.
We went in there. You know.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Like, believe me, if she had just calmed down, then believe me, she wouldn't be going. You seen it yourself. You couldn't keep her down. You had your hand over her mouth, telling her, "Shut up."
She was working disorderly conduct.
Oh, well, yeah, chill out. Just let them know they were being super disrespectful.
They were.
That's gonna be in the report.
Yeah, but that's fine. Did you
Why
get
she's
up?
being arrested?
You
were being arrested?
No, I'm not.
No.
She
Okay.
was.
Yeah.
Because
Oh
Lou
my
was
God.
still being disrespectful. That's what I'm telling you. Like, it
Then
never
just,
ended.
you know what? Fuck Apple.
But I'm
don't come here ever again.
I'm not.
I'm
I'm not. We not. We
Go
not.
with your brother.
It ain't-
We could have reached a better compromise where he just saying, like I said, just don't come back here again, so we don't have that issue. But I understand you trying to do your job too, man. I just wish we could. I wish we could see us in it.
All right. So just for the context, it's going to be the bond. She'll be able to post bond tonight. The bond is maybe $200. If that. Okay. It's a B misdemeanor. It's nothing serious. It'll be a slap on the wrist. Okay. Right.
All for a simple B misdemeanor. Simple. You know, and the thing is that you know, it gets so out of whack when people are acting like this. You know. All right, give me a second here. Okay, I think I got my mic working, and she is all done now. 3 white ones and 5 black ones. Yeah. 3 whites, 5 blacks. And you did such a great job, Mommy. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yeah. I wish you could have waited a couple more days, though. That would have been nice. So I could have been more prepared, but I know. When time is time, it's yeah, I get it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. She had 8 of them. Good job there, Mommy. Oh, I wonder where Gabriel. I can't wait for him to see this. Ha 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 ha. Okay, yeah. So that's where we're at. Okay, so now that she's done, I'm gonna get some sleep, guys. I really need it. It probably won't be much sleep because of the fact that they're gonna be squealing and Anna Marie. It's okay. So Gabriel, Liberty, Jasmine, and Guinevere have what is called the recessive gene. And basically, Gabriel is capable of putting out white puppies and solid black puppies. And yeah, it's yeah. So again, thank you for those of you that did donate today. I appreciate it because the pups. I'm going to need a lot of stuff for these guys. I was not prepared for this. I thought I still had like 4 or 5 more days left. I'd like to thank Anne Marie, Cindy Johnson, Kathleen French, Jody Terry, and Cindy Bolin. Thank you so much for your donations today. That is going to be a bit of help for me in getting the things that I need for them immediately. I appreciate you very much. I appreciate all you guys do in helping with these pups. You know, it is quite a handful. But you know, we have 8 perfectly healthy puppies right now. I'm very grateful for that. You know, these dogs are my life. Everything that I do pretty much for them. And you know, and getting them to good homes, trying to train them up as much as possible before they get rehomed. So that when they go, they get you know, they follow commands and such. And the older ones that I'm in the process of training now, I got 3 females that are being trained for service. They get fixed in about 30 days. They'll be getting fixed. And you know, because you don't want a service dog that is pregnant, you know. So you know, these girls will get that, and then little Ahab, he won't get his stuff taken care of until he's almost 6 months. We always wait until after they get their rabies shot before before we get any of them fixed. So thank you all for joining me today. You guys are awesome. I appreciate all of you. And we will see you again tomorrow. Remember, our Creator, He loves you. And His Son, Jesus Christ, He loves you. And I love you. And we will see you again tomorrow. Peace.